Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures trying to hold on to slight gains once again this morning, coming off record high performance for the NASDAQ yesterday, closing at all-time highs. For the first time in a little while. Anyways, we'll talk about some big tech stocks coming up this morning and see if we can't extend this rally. There was widespread gains, though, right across all three major U.S. indexes, the S&P and Dow, both higher as well, but still a little bit away from all-time highs. Fed Chair Powell testifying before the House of Representatives yesterday, reiterating the Fed's stance on saying that some of this inflation is only temporary. So the market seemed to find a little confidence once again in those comments from Fed Chair Powell. We're watching cryptocurrency markets once again this morning. Bitcoin trading back above 33,000. Nice move overnight back to the upside, rebounding again from yesterday's big move down through 30. We'll have a look at some of the cryptos coming up here as well. And squeeze stocks back on watch, but some of the ones that were more heavily traded, the AMCs of the world, not doing as much volume this morning once again, but we're watching Clover, CLOV, very, very active in the pre-market here. It's Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at where things stand at this point. As I mentioned, back in positive territory, only just for all three U.S. markets at this point. The TSX futures here in Toronto slightly lower. You can see Brazil basically flat, trading. They're open already. Crude oil up 1% again. Remember, energy stocks had quite the rally going into the end of last week and the start of this week. Bitcoin and Ethereum, as we said, 4% and 3% back to the upside already this morning. Good morning, guys. We're going to watch some of these crypto markets once again today. Nice rebound continues. 33,000 once again for BTC.
34,000. 34,000. Yeah, and we're back above 2,000 for Ethereum. Just double checking to make sure we're holding above that one. Look, a lot happening today. There is, and we'll probably have some discussion about that new SEC rule and the effect that it might have on squeeze stocks when it comes to essentially possibly creating more squeezes. I don't know, because margin calls are going to be all the rage in talking about it today, but there's all kinds of movement. I mean, Clover, I see Sean's got that 1363. That just broke out all the way to yesterday's high at 14. So there's already a lot of activity going on in the market. We'll be watching all of those meme names. There is some EV news as well. So we'll talk a little NEO and a little XPeng. It looks like it's going to be another good day. The market is holding near those highs. And we got the green as well, again with Miss V.
Yeah, Miss V busting it out to all-time highs yesterday. So, yeah, we'll fire off the chicken for that. Thank you, Miss V, for wearing green once again. You guys will be able to see her hopefully very, very soon. And right now, 1363. Yeah, we got Clover on board already. Oops, we did it again. And then, by the way, guys, put in the chat, yesterday at this time, this exact time, I said, load into your crypto accounts if you have one and buy something. If you remember what that was, it's Cardano. And if I told you yesterday, I'll tell you again today. This is a 25% bump in 24 hours. So yesterday we got down to, I mean, I can zoom this out here, zoom. Actually, 1 minute chart won't be very good for this. Yesterday we got down to $1 even, guys. $1 even, and this is where we were pounding the table. It was exactly at this time. It was 104, 105. It does go down to about $1 at 10 o'clock. So if you bought it anytime yesterday, congratulations on a beautiful 25% bump there. And then we did have our crypto poll yesterday, which actually went really, really well. Here, I'm going to call it up right now. It was over 1,000 votes yesterday, so 1,200, let's call it 1,200 votes. Will BTC fall to 20,000? I didn't put a time frame on purpose, because I just mean ever, okay? And 59% yes, so 60-40 there. Thank you, everybody, for voting. It was a good one. We're really, really happy that you were participating in that. And I'm going to say no. I don't think, I mean, Bitcoin's, the way it's holding, this 30,000, I mean, eventually, maybe if the world comes to an end, but I like where crypto is going right now. We have Ford. Wow, there goes Clover, guys, right now. And that's a 50-cent win. So we say to that one, mamma mia. Italy plays on the 26th. They're the story of round one. There's no doubt about that. And here goes Clover, man. I mean, where do we take this thing out, Brendan? Maybe I'll just hold it all day.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Ho-hum, 12% in the pre-market, guys, for CLOV. It has begun already. Stick around. Coming up fairly shortly. Maybe I hit it twice, Lucas. Just one time. There we go. Why did it's not working for me? Great guest coming up, guys. Else Nutrition coming through in about 15 minutes or so. We're going to talk about the plant-based baby food industry. So stick around for that coming up fairly shortly. Before we get any further, though, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, guys. It's going to be an exciting and busy day. Please enjoy your trading and don't forget to smash the like button. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. Lots to talk about here in the pre-market before we get the market open. Under an hour to go. Yeah, I mean, there's a wide range of these squeeze stocks, meme stocks, whatever you want to talk about. This ALF guy, guys, popped up a couple of days ago. Alfie Incorporated. We were talking about it Monday. Tuesday it was a little bit quieter, but volume again this morning for ALF once again.
That was the runner in yesterday's action. We was joking about it at the end of the day here when it tried to make that breakout that, probably wouldn't give you that bigger move off of 16 until after market. So I was able to get like 30s and 40s out in front of that 50. It did touch 17. I was joking when I said it, of course, ends up happening. But now Alfie is I'm not calling it Alfie. Alf is gapping back down here right to the afternoon, like the early afternoon high. So this was a key level right at 15. I mean, obviously, it's a nice little round number for you on Alpha, and we're going to be watching that one here today. The only thing that I can find, if you guys see another one of these memes or I guess squeeze type stocks breaking out towards the top, I only see Clover doing that right now, taking out yesterday's high. Alfie is looking like it's going to hold this 15 level, which is on watch for me this morning. I mean, 15.20 you have in the pre-market because that's the bottom of this range, and 15 even. If this fails at that particular price, let's remember where this thing has come from. This was a $3 stock, a couple weeks ago here, and not much of a retracement will be needed to get you back to like a $10 range. So if it does make its first little turn here, I think it's going to be off of a failure at the open at that 15 to 15.20 level. So Alpha is firmly on the radar for that south side play. And yeah, I mean, even Wish is sort of coming off a little bit here. I mean, AMC's down. Like $1 or so, down 1.5%. It looks like Clover is the one that's showing all the strength.
Yeah, we've got Clover on board, so that's a good one. Thank God for that. 55 cents now in the money on Clover. Alf, okay, so Alf, I just want to look at here. We did have this $12 level yesterday. It's sort of where, I mean, it started off in the pre-market, but it doesn't matter. We bounced around this $12 a little bit, so that's going to be a level that I've put already. If you guys haven't found the sticky note, it's up on the website on Twitter. I'll go find it for you. I'll put it in the chat in a minute. Wow, and so I like this this 12 level on Alf to break it to the downside, not for long support, for a downside break, and then as we're looking at that 17 is really nice. I mean, anything back to 16, obviously, I think is a great short in this area where we had some consolidation, nice little bump. I mean, look at this, bump. This is what Neil's talking about. All these bumps up there yesterday afternoon, and then we come in today and we're back down. So let's watch 15 for a possible short as well. So we'll play the short back into 15 for now, but I don't want to get carried away because it could retest 17. So let's take a small short, like 14.80, something like that. If we lose 20 cents on it, we lose 20 cents on it. But for right now, I do like the Alf short. And then you guys already know where the banger's at. We'll throw some cash around right now, but we're going to hold on to Clover. I don't really have an upside target on this. This could come crashing back down. So let's wait to see where we go from here. Maybe we take it out at 14 and then reload on a crash, but we're out right at the 14.50 is a great spot for us. So we'll look at Clover at 14.50.
All right, guys, hot topic of the day going to be regarding this group of stocks, and I'll show you the headline here this morning, this new NSCC rule change coming into effect today. If we take a second, kind of, take a step back and, really think about how this is going to affect these or potentially affect these stocks, I mean, what do people need to know about this going into today?
So, what everyone needs to understand is that there were liquidity checks, and the actual specific name of it here is, of course, supplemental liquidity deposit requirements. Those were checked for member firms. That's hedge funds, guys. Those were checked essentially once a month around options expiration. In which case a firm had, I guess, too much leverage and positions against them, then there could be a margin call, and that would happen monthly. The new rule, and this is clearly because of your GMEs and your AMCs and these types of moves in the market, maybe some of the Viacoms as well, it's going to be checked on a daily basis. And if there is a requirement that they post margin to shore up their position, they have to respond within an hour. So that goes into effect today. Obviously, this has been coming down the pipeline. People have probably adjusted to this. Maybe short up their position. Maybe taken preventative measures to make sure they don't get squeezed or get those margin calls. So there's no way to see exactly how it's going to react in today. I don't think all of a sudden you're just going to get everything squeezing to the top, but that potential is certainly there that you will have a few more small squeezes. What I was saying when a couple of us were talking in the chat really early on this morning was, when there was the flash crash and they put in some new rules regarding circuit breakers, there were no massive flash crash events. Like the big flash, it prevented it. We didn't have another one like that. But we had tons of little micro flash crashes. So what I think might happen here is, I think they're aiming to and might prevent the next massive GameStop by cutting it before it goes too early, but you might see more micro squeezes to the upside in some of these heavily shorted names. So that was just thinking out loud in terms of what I believe could be happening here and going in the future, but I wouldn't change your game plan on any of these stocks. Like, stick to what has worked, looking at some of the key levels, playing the directions. Like, I don't think any of us here, I don't want to speak for Sean, but I don't think we're going to change our game plan too much. Yeah, maybe you'll be quicker to try to catch a bit of a long play. If you see something that looks like in these names it's going to be a squeeze, maybe you hold it a little bit longer. But outside of that, it should be business as usual. We just might not see as many of these in the future that get as big as GameStop and AMC got.
Yeah, I just want to say my bad on that. Everybody looking for the sticky note, and I actually posted the tweet but without the note. So there it is. So I put it up there for you guys. There's the sticky note. It's in the chat, but I also put it back on that. Okay, so we're back down to 14 right now on Clover. Probably worth taking out a little bit of profit here as it does break back down. We're waiting for 14.50, so let's not get too crazy with this one, Brendo. I'm going to take out some Clover, put 40 cents in our pocket, and then move on from this one and look to see a breakthrough 14.20, guys.
All right, we're going to talk about some of the Chinese EV makers coming up here. XPEV getting that Hong Kong listing approval coming through, so they're higher. But I want to mention Tesla here as well, because pretty good look for Tesla in the pre-market. There's a number of minor headlines this morning when it comes to Tesla, but they've also opened their first charging stations in China for their fleet. So 1.5%, we're back up to 634, which is almost 635, that last little high there on the daily chart, guys.
Yeah, I mean, get going, Tesla, get going. And we're going to talk, of course, about XPEV a little bit here eventually, because they have their own news. But this is a bit of a key level. 640 has always been well, I shouldn't say always. 640 has been a level, as my daily doesn't want to seem to load any further. But I think the way in which we've climbed into this 635 that you mentioned, Brendan, sets up pretty nicely. Now, keep in mind, there were a couple of breaks here. And when we failed to break this level, this is when you got that sharp retracement, right? So end of the month, we failed to break that 635, and then you just get a huge flush. It started the actual turn. You get a big bounce back, and then we're grinding back towards putting in higher lows right into the 635 break. So, I mean, I don't trade Tesla every single day, but today is a day where that 640 number, you almost have to throw it out the window because the setup is here for 635. As a day trade goes, you're probably not wrong till at least like a 630, and this is going to be, you go back and it's this high right here, like that 630. So all systems go on Tesla. I can't remember the last time I actually had a position in Tesla pre-market, but it is $1 away from that price, and we're 45 minutes from the open, so it's entirely possible that could trigger in before the open.
So here's, I don't know, I guess I can show this quickly. Here's a picture of my kids. So it's Be Your Hero Day at school. So my daughter is acting like her teacher. Apparently she always wears black, she drinks Starbucks, and she wears glasses. And if you can guess who my man is acting like, then you will win. And I think you should get maybe another hero, but very, very, very proud of these guys for sure. So that is that. So they're, you know, nice. Very happy with that. But what were we talking about again? Tesla. That's right, Tesla. Oh, Superman, why thank you for that, guys. Yeah, Tesla today, we looked at 620, 630, 640, and all of these levels seem to be pretty good. Anything back to 620, 623, 622, I think these are good levels right back here. Tesla's off to the races. We talked about this already. Ford, GM, and Tesla is all that I would need for and I do like, I mean, Mark, was it Mark, I believe, was talking about Volkswagen as well. I do like that, but then I got to play it on the OTC markets, which is fine. Those are the names that I like for the EV space. I know they're not your traditional ones other than Tesla, but Ford and GM, we've already talked about that in great detail. So that's what I would play off of, and anything back to 620 here on Tesla needs to be taken as well. But the NASDAQ at all-time highs, I don't know if we retrace back down that far.
Yeah, NASDAQ at all-time highs end of the day yesterday. We're looking to extend that obviously today. That means chip makers will be in focus, guys. There's a minor headline here on Intel. We saw big moves obviously in NVIDIA. AMD even had a pretty nice day yesterday. Intel partnering with the Sci-Fi to create 2 new units. So INTC basically flat. Some of the other ones though looking a little more positive.
If you're in that space, you're in NVIDIA for explosive growth, you're probably in like Micron or AMC for value, and you're in Intel because you think it's a turnaround play. So that should be like the smallest, and for me, it's my smallest weighted overall. And you're in this one for 5 years, 10 years, thinking that they're going to get the foundry up. So I don't think the news is going to matter. I don't think it's a buying, unless you're looking to buy in here to hold for a longer time period and you believe in the turnaround story for them, then this kind of a news piece isn't the reason you would get in. Like maybe you wait for a momentum play. Maybe you wait for 5 or 6 months, or you're just sort of in and hanging around for a little bit. Now, if you're gonna, like I said, if you're gonna trade actual movement within the space, AMD is gonna move. I'm getting to the point on NVIDIA. It was that great like breakout of like 500 to 550, and then eventually get into that 6. And then, of course, the split news came. It's starting to get pretty pricey. Like taking profit off at NVIDIA, if we break new highs today, I think it's actually going to start to make a lot of sense because the returns there are getting pretty crazy. I'm not saying you put it into Intel, but whether it's Micron or an MU or an AMC, now that's a good place to pair back or just get the ETF.
Yeah, I was still just looking at some of your comments. Thank you for all of those, guys. I still like AMD, as a stock here. We've been liking that for a while. And, I didn't put this, I'm just staring. I don't know why I use this because, we just talked about our ADA there, and we put this up because of the soccer, but Jersey Shore, like, oh my God, what a hot mess that was. Let's move on. AMD, look, we've been liking AMD for a very, very long time, and we've been talking about it. We talked about it in the 70s, in this, 75. There's a great little bottom here. I can't show it to you on our charts because, again, we have this wick here that I fixed yesterday, but that is back today. Here we go. So this is the little base here that we've been talking about on AMD, 72, 75-ish, 72 the bottom, 75 the middle. We talked about buying it hand over fist in here. I still think AMD, once they close the Xilinx deal, goes back here, 93, 94, into this range. And then this was on earnings. It got blown out earnings, and then it just started to retrace all the way back down. So I remember sitting here watching that 100 print and then faded right back in. So that was an aftermarket print. So do we get back to 100? Yes, I believe we get back to there by winter time. And then as soon as the Xilinx deal closes, just like the ARM holdings will for NVIDIA, NVIDIA's already getting the push on that deal. Looks like that's going to close. So Xilinx will boost AMD to all-time highs for sure. So 94, 92 to 96 is where I think we're going. And then, so that's that. And then if you look at a daily chart here, yesterday, this is what AMD does. It always has strange moves off the open. So we're going to see if we can catch it. Yesterday, it just ripped and then came right back, and we were able to buy some AMD. And then today, we'll see if we can do the same thing using 83, guys, as a base. Consolidation yesterday, 83 bottoms midday. So let's see if we can get back down to 83 and change on AMD. Was a good one yesterday.
All right, guys, the baby food market is expected to grow to $100 billion in value over the next 5 years. Else Nutrition is looking to capitalize on that, taking a little bit of a different approach. It's great to have the co-founder and CEO, Hamitel Yitzhak, with us this morning to talk a little bit about their company and this approach. It's an exciting marketplace because of this new approach. Hamitel, great to have you with us. Let's talk a little bit about the plant-based side of baby food. A great space to be in. Welcome. Tell us how this idea came to be and how the company was started.
Sure. So happy to be with you, and thank you for having me. So founders are senior executives, so veterans of the infant nutrition industry. And the idea actually came from a personal case in one of the founders' family of a severely allergic child to dairy formula, which represents almost, I'd say, 50% of the babies population worldwide that actually are suffering from all kinds of allergies and intolerance to dairy, just like the adults are. So we're looking at the absence of choice that these children actually are facing as almost the whole global $80 billion or $100 billion industry, which is coming to, is actually reliant on a single source of protein, which is dairy. No choice. So we believe that babies and children deserve a real alternative to dairy-based nutrition. And I say that after 120 years of very little change in that industry, a clean, plant-based alternative is long overdue. And we created a real alternative to dairy-based formula that uses almost 95% whole food ingredients, plant-based, of course, and the cleanest, most natural production process to date.
So let's talk a little bit about the benefits then on the other side of the scale here. What can people expect as far as health benefits from choosing this formula?
Sure. So our product is actually providing twofold benefits. One is a breakthrough protein source, which is 100% plant-based, dairy and soy-free, of course, and a paradigm shift in the way we process the ingredients, which means clean label, whole food-based solution, as opposed to highly processed ingredients-based formulas using deep processing, non-clean methods to create their ingredients. I'm talking about the entire industry. This would help the countless families struggling with dairy intolerances and those who are embracing or looking to embrace plant-based lifestyle. We are talking about a minimally processed product derived from organic whole plant foods. And of course, it's free of corn syrup solids, all artificial ingredients and fillers and preservatives. And we are talking about 3 core ingredients, which are almonds, buckwheat, and tapioca. And they make up, as I said, almost 95% of the product composition. And the whole ingredients are minimally processed. We're just changing the texture of the ingredients. We're actually processing them with enzymes, which are a very natural substance, instead of using all kinds of chemicals, of using derivatives of those ingredients, which is done in our industry. And that should create a great, great benefit on the health side for our children.
The company's picked up multiple awards in the space already. Let's talk about some research here. What kind of research, first off, is involved in this process in creating essentially a brand new product in this space? And is there any kind of regulation that investors need to be aware of?
So, first of all, ELSE enjoys a world-class panel of scientific advisory board members who are at the forefront of the pediatric nutrition science, and they set the guidelines to global infant nutrition. They endorse, and they believe in the need for such a formula. And we meet the strict World Health Organization standards for infant formula, among others. And we are currently, at this moment, conducting multiple clinical studies to demonstrate our superiority for better tolerance, hypoallergenicity, proper growth, and we're working very intensively to achieve the relevant permits in multiple jurisdictions to market the infant formula product. At the same time, we currently focus on baby nutrition products that are compliant already with regulatory codes globally, such as toddler nutrition, kids complete nutrition, and babies nutrition from 6 months onwards. So we started in North America, and we are soon expanding into Europe and China. I didn't speak about the retail side of it, but let's hear the rest of your questions.
Yeah, sure. We can talk about that as well to wrap things up. Hamitel Yitzhak, co-founder, CEO of ELSE Nutrition, with us this morning. Recently available on Amazon. What has that move done and meant for the company?
So yes, we first launched on our e-store in Amazon and some other e-commerce platforms. But on Amazon, what we've seen is demand surge, and we very, very, quite after that, after our launch, we ranked bestsellers on the new release infant and toddler nutrition category. That just happened again yesterday, as we just launched our complete nutrition for kids. And a few days afterwards, we ranked bestsellers on our category, new releases. So that's quite phenomenal. And so I would also speak about our brick and mortar expansion in North America, if you will. Since we launched on our first brick and mortar retailer this February, we already have multiple retailer listings in around 1,000 stores. I'm talking about since February, and distribution agreements that give us a solid foothold in the U.S. retail market, with potential to grow into new markets as well. Yep.
It's great, a great time to be involved in the sector itself, and an interesting approach to this sector that is obviously gaining more and more traction as we go by here with health and more information coming out on it. So we appreciate your time, Hamutal Yitzhak, co-founder CEO of Else Nutrition. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
You as well, guys. BABY on the Venture Exchange for that one. Let's jump into what is moving around in the pre-market here this morning. Number of names to get through, as we have been mentioning, guys. We'll jump into the morning note. If you haven't done so already, make sure you grab that morning note, absolutely free to you. Every single morning before we come on at 8:30, we get that out to you. Miss V will help you out in the chat if you do need the link for that. Context Logic, otherwise known as Wish, another one that was very active in both the pre-market yesterday and throughout the day yesterday as well. What do we think here, guys, of Wish, one of the more active ones so far?
Yeah, the volume's good on Wish, and we talked about how you didn't see as much movement to the upside in anything but Clover, and I still can't really find anything that's making that move off the top. But for Wish, it's all about this 14 level, and we've broken it a couple of times. Obviously, you had that big move into 17, but since then, it made a nice bottom off 10 even, and then we're getting right into this 14 level, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 times tested in the last couple of sessions, and we're just hovering below it again here today. So, if you stay to the, I guess, bullish side of some of the other names, and you want to be a bear on Wish, I think it makes a lot of sense to look at exactly what worked yesterday, which was look at that 930 bounce play. If you go back, there was a couple of shots at this. I mean, the first time through, it failed at 14 at 930. This is a 15-minute chart, guys. And then about the second time through, after it held that bottom, we get that test into 1450. Those are the levels that are going to matter today. If you break that 1450, that's when you look at that like 15 to 17 area as a bit of a target. But this little cluster here, it sets up for that same play as yesterday. And then this is the level you got to watch. It holds 1290. Today, or maybe the rest of the week, that's when I think you got that look for another breakout. So 1290, not 13 even, is where I think the dip would be if you're looking to buy the dip here. I would give it a break of that 13, because 1285, 1290 seems more reasonable. It's a couple of days in a row now. Below that price, you have a lot of room to the downside here on Wish. Context Logic.
Yeah, I really love. I mean, it's one of the number one stocks here on my sticky note there. Wish, number one on Wall Street bets. It cannot be ignored, right? I mean, we talked about that yesterday. We did trade it. There's the move long yesterday and short again into that. But I'm looking today, guys, not to ignore this to the long side. You do have that 1450 Neil just mentioned that happened in the pre-market yesterday, but I'm just looking at 14, just breaking an even dollar level to the upside. I think it's a no-brainer trade. If you do have any, support down here, it's at 13, like Neil just mentioned. So I think it's a dollar hit, worst case scenario. So 14 upside, don't drop it till it's 13 and see where we go from here. But you do got to take some out if you get to that 1440 area. So let's wait to see. But I like Wish. I think it's a big, big buy today. And it's just a matter of what price we come down to here. And I mean, this would be pretty sweet in the 13s. But I think that will probably break the top off the open. So let's take Wish, Context Logic, for a ride here through $14. Not this break of $13.85. Let's actually, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit on $13.85, actually, guys. A little bit long, $13.85 on this break, and then we'll take a bigger position through 14.
All right, guys, let's get a quick look at some analyst moves, upgrades and downgrades for the morning. FedEx on here. Sean, Microsoft on here, upgraded by Wedbush. McDonald's, Carvana, nothing terribly exciting on that side of the board. Plug Power we mentioned yesterday coming off of earnings, Canaccord downgrading. Yeah, Smile Direct, it's not terribly active, but to the downside today, guys.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Smile Direct in a while, but it's getting rather close. And this is going to be the daily chart on Smile Direct. It made a double top here at 15. It's been almost chopped in half, and I say that because 16 top. You're getting really, really close to this cluster at 8. If this thing were to break 7 even, Smile Direct, it's in some trouble here in the chart. You're right at that 50 period, so this is put up or shut up time. It's time to put this one back on the day trading radar, even though the volume isn't usually good. As it creeps down towards this level, that's one I'm not going to want to miss. So I got that 7 written down for Smile Direct, and then when it actually makes some movement into it, that's when we can take that trade. Everything else on that list, I mean, Plug, okay, it's fine. They moved up on the earnings and then catch a bit of a downgrade. Sometimes you get a move like that, but Plug was a long for yesterday. I don't know if I'll be day trading it today.
Yeah, so I'm just fixing my earpiece there. Microsoft, we've been talking about it down here. It was only May. Like, I was just looking like May 13th. We were talking about Microsoft being down here at 241, and I was talking about buying it. And I just hope that you guys did. I did. It's now is my largest holding. I think Microsoft or Google keeps going back and forth with my longer term portfolio. But yeah, look at this. I mean, it's like nothing but upside here. Nice little upgrade today. So I'm sitting back low side here to see if I can't pick up some 265s, some bids down here, just in case the NASDAQ does crash through. We always want to take some softy longs. I don't know if my trades are going to ask you, they're not going to show up, but we had these longs on Microsoft the last couple of days, and so we'll look to do the same thing today. Just what a big win for us on Softy. I love the name. We've been liking it for a very, very long time, and I mean, great upgrade. And I mean, take the long. I'm just going to wait to see where we dip down to here. If we do take it out, we are at all-time highs right now. I mean, here's a cleaner 3-minute chart. We're just busting up to that 266.50. I just don't want to take a breakout early because if the NASDAQ does fall, then Microsoft will just fall with it. So I just don't want to take that breakout first thing. I usually do that, but I haven't been lately, and we've been having good days. So can't complain, and I'm not going to change up the strategy for this one. Although, like, now I'm starting to convince myself to maybe just to do it, but we'll wait on it. We'll wait to see if we get a 260. It was just at 265, right? I mean, if we came in at 7 o'clock, you could have had that. So we'll wait to see if it comes to 265. And Microsoft, we love you long time.
All right, market time. Let's get Arun in here and get a look at the overall futures, see what we need to be aware of today. It is, I mean, we're still kind of in this range, I guess, Arun, but I mean, we're positive so far.
Well, I mean, yeah, after a move like yesterday, being in the range just means towards the final half hour where we were trading the final half hour. We did expand towards 42.50. We did come down. There was a weird print there. I don't know if everyone's seeing it on their charts, but I see a weird print all the way down to 4,200. I checked the volume out. There's really nothing there. It's just, I don't know what happened there, but there was an off print that was down at 4,200. Ignore that completely. There's nothing behind it in terms of volume. So the levels that I'm working with, 42.50 on the top end. If we get above there, that's pretty binary, right? It's a big round number. We've bounced around there twice now in the pre-market and also yesterday. So if we can get above there, I think we have a chance to break out again towards 42, well, from 42.50 going straight up. There's no targets up there. So if we get that breakout, you got that long upside move. Now, if we come down, same area as yesterday, 42.10, that worked out well, held strong. So if we can get underneath 42.10 as well, then we can potentially play off that 4,200 for potential bounce off of that area. But in between those two areas, you are essentially going to have to play either with the 42.50 for the short if you can get a proper setup inside the 40s, meaning risk less than 10 points, try to get that play down towards the 42.10s. If you can get that. If you can't, just wait for the breakout. That's probably a better and easier trade. Also be careful though, because the first run might be just stops, right? The first move on a round number like this could easily be a stop run. We kind of come back down and then we kind of figure out whether it's just going to be all stops or if we're actually going to catch some buying and continue the expansion. So that's what I'm looking at towards 42.50. And of course, we come down, Brendan, 42.10, potential longs with 4,200 as your stop.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. We are under 30 minutes until the open. Let's continue along with what to look at when we get there, guys. Alfie back on watch again today. Alfie Incorporated, which is ALF, popped up earlier in the week on all kinds of volume, active again today.
Yes, sir. We talked a little bit about Alfie at the top of the show, or just very, very early on here. And look, it's basically down. It's down 12%. So get it out of the way. It's going to be short sell restricted on the session for today, and then tomorrow as well. So we'll be watching, and of course, we'll be watching like this 15 area. It did finally made that breakout. You're watching the afternoon show. I was kind of frustrated with that break that we did have at 16. It really couldn't get going, and then right after 4 o'clock, or basically right after 4 o'clock, you got that bump up at 17. You get the gap down. There was a bit of a level here in the early afternoon. It's this 15 level in the early afternoon at 1 o'clock that I think we're going to try and test now. So you get this lower high that gets put in. It gives you an interesting range. Support's going to be down around that 12. I do much prefer like the wish range because if you look at some of these, I guess we'll call them squeeze or meme names, right? Like you kind of, for me, if I want to be bullish, I want to stick to the ones I think there's going to be, I guess, a stronger bid. And I feel like there'll be a stronger bid from retail, and I could be wrong about this, in Wish than there would be in Alfie. So you're not going to see me just jump in and have a dip buy on Alfie. I'd probably want to play this one to the south side, feeling like it could have the bigger of the pullbacks if there is a bit of a flush. So it does set up for that trade-off of 15. I won't touch it if it takes out that high. In that particular case, I think some of these other ones will be going. So on Alf, I did write down that 12 to 1240 area that maybe could be a bit of a bounce. I do prefer the 1290 to 13-ish area on Wish, but it's a very, very similar setup in both of these names. So at 9:30, my eyes will be on Wish, but Alfie does have that same rollover setup off 15. It's a lot closer to that price range. Volume's good as well for the day trade.
So I like Alpha here, 12 break to the downside. I mean, that's what we put on our sticky note there. We talked about that. I think you just got to get through all of this, 1350. I just don't see, I don't see really any news or anything why. I mean, I know it's going to be a low float, probably highly shorted stock. So you got to watch out for it. But I do like this break of 12 to the downside. And then on the ups, like I thought it would have gone up. Like the fact that it's down today, I just, think it should have pushed already if it wanted to go. So you do have a 15 break if you like it. Even 1485, we're a little bit down from there. But I'm going to wait. My order's already in to go short through 12. But Microsoft on the bid, Wish I like better. And then I like Ford, which we haven't got to yet, but we will soon. So Alphi, I like it, but I just think there's bigger fish to fry today. And we'll wait to see what comes through. Ethereum right now bouncing through 2,000. And then Bitcoin, we'll just do Ethereum right now. Bitcoin 2020, looking at that peak right there. So we are getting close, on Ether. So you can look, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you can now start to look at crypto in the same way that you look at equities as far as charting is concerned. We called the 30,000 bounce yesterday. We've been doing that. I called it was going to go to 40 before 30 when it was at 32. So we win that bet as well. And then, so, just look at this. If you could break above this 2040, let alone 2050, which we're not too far away on Ethereum, then I think you get a really nice recovery in some of these other names. So Cardano's already up and away. Now 127, that's 27% in 24 hours. So yeah, we like these kind of bounces here, 2050 on Ether. So watch out for Mara, Riot, those kind of stocks.
All right, 7 million shares, guys, in Torchlight traded already. It's down significantly for the second straight day. You remember nothing but selling came in early on yesterday and brought this all the way back to 7. Yeah, we're way down here around 5.5, 6 at this point this morning. A little congestion though. But Torchlight, when it was up here, that was 10x on the year so far for this one. TRCH very active.
So it's made two moves, and one is a breakout. Like it had that break at 1 through January. It had the bounce off of 1 on the secondary movement, $1 obviously, and you had this level here at 490. We're all over the short in yesterday's action. When you look back, and sorry, I'll point this price out again, like this is that 480, 490 price, right? So you sort of come back into the 15, and there's room into that level. You can see the support down here that should be there. So if it does make a move, you still have $1 before you get to that support range, and you also have that recent high in here at 650 to 675. So I like the fade in that price range in front of that 7 even area, 50 to 75 kind of entry point there, and then you have room down towards that 5. Now I would expect anyone sort of looking at this and holding hope, maybe the buyers will come back in there. And they did have a special dividend. I think you had to be holding it as of yesterday, so that's not really a factor at this point. I think it's just all about this support. If it can hold at 5, fair enough, might have a bounce in it, but there is still a good amount of return in this name if you're betting on the south side of it. So I'm still going to be a bear in front of that 7 range. On Torch, gets into that price target area, I think it's going to be a fade. Yeah, you can look for a long. If it flushes out 5, holds that 490, 485 area, comes right back up. Maybe it's worth an entry point at 5, give it to the low that it just made, as long as it's not like a 450 or something like that, and then you ride it back to the top. That wipeout long isn't a horrible idea, but that's not where we're at right now. We're still in the range where you can take that short off of these previous gap up levels.
Guys, so we'll raise up the trophy because Torch is our stock. We own this stock. Yesterday, well, we own it on the market. I don't actually own the stock. Yesterday, we talked about shorting $10 all day 10. We get it yesterday, and bang, 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 bang to the downside. We even closed at 7. We shorted again here at 8, and then we closed at 7, and then today. So look, if you looked at the sticky note yesterday, that's why we just put that up. I said short 10, short 10, short 10. And then today you're into the money already, that 40% in one day, if you held it on to it. So there it is, a nice little move to the downside. I wrote down on today's sticky note that, yeah, it's at 6, but that we're going to look for this $5 support. So we'll see if there is going to be support down here at $5. We'll go for a 20-minute chart. I like it better to look at these levels. Here it is right here, $5. So we'll see, man. Right before all this anarchy started and chaos, we started bouncing around 5 a bunch of times. So let's see if 5 holds it for support. We'll put some low bids down there, see if we do get picked up. But man, we called this whole move. So hopefully you guys are able to do that in your own accounts if you're able to go short. If you're stuck long, I don't know. We could get a bump back to 8-ish, which could happen. I mean, anything could happen at this point, but watch out for $8 today. If you're stuck long, that's not a bad spot to pair some off and sort of cut your losses. But I like, or hold on to it for a while. I mean, I'm just talking about if you're swinging this thing. Watch out for $5 as well on the support. So that's where I'm going to be sitting right now on Torchlight.
Let's talk Global Star Incorporated, small cap satellite maker. Popped up to number 3 on Wall Street Bet's sentiment list yesterday. A number of people in our chat talking about this yesterday as well. So this is kind of day 3, guys. If you look at the daily chart here, 1, 2, and now today, day 3. But we're getting back into some prior levels here from when it did squeeze all the way up to above 3 for this one.
GSAT on the move again, and look, this is gonna, if you guys trade this one, if you have traded it before, it is very, very liquid. It's gonna have that thick level 2 that you can see here, so it's one of those like scalable stocks. And then when it gets to these price levels, I'm sort of talking about $2 because we're at 197 right now. $2 or around that range was a bit of a lower peak that got put in on the way back in. I'd be more concerned with like a 235 if it gets there, I think, for that short kind of idea. So I'm going to file that one away. If you're just playing on the bull side, if there is that big size on any one of those levels, it's usually pretty good for a scalp trade. So even if I like a 2 break, if I see like 1 million shares or something on a level, I'm probably going to look at like, yeah, 99 short, take a couple of cents out there. That's for if you have direct market access and you can make money doing those types of trades. Otherwise, you're just looking for that clean 2-end break. It's making that move right now. I just saw Clove just tested 1420, by the way. That's actual high. Double top here at 1420 because, of course, 420 would be a thing. But GSAT is making that move into 2. I would just be very, very wary of a fail break. It does so much liquidity that there are a lot of people that could be maybe jamming into this one or trying to sell it at that 2 range if there's a bit of fail break at 930, and then you're hunting right back into a $1.85. I think there could be, so it closed at 186. You have a pre-market low around here at that 186 level as well. So I think that's where that first support level could be. So watch out for potential to buy the dip on GSAT. Like I said, if it gets to 235, I think that's where I'd be looking to short this name.
Yeah, look at Clover, guys. We were long at 1363, and then we're out at 99 off the break back down to the downside, 96, I guess, on the break back down to the downside there. And then look where we just touched again, 1425, man. We tweeted this out. That's the break spot on Clover. We're going hell of a long if it does break through 1425 on Clove. So get ready. We've already put in our pocket that 40 cents. Hey, Angel, you, my friend, are amazing. Thank you for that $20. And we'll just keep on pumping it out for you guys here on the show. We don't get many super chats, but when we do, we definitely thank you guys for them. So thank you so much for that one. The baby of Palantir, my baby, upside now again, just keeps on running. This is about as consistent as you can get over the last 2 months, just straight upside on Palantir. It's a fun stock. It's not, the high flyer that all these other names are, and it's not meant to be. So, it did get caught up in some of the Wall Street Bets mania right there, and I still think it can. Obviously, we know my aunt Kathy Wood is all over this as well, but we've been all over this since IPO time. So this is why we call it that. It's been really I get into names that I like, that I researched on IPOs, And I'm only telling you, the only few IPOs I've been in the last couple of years, Chewy, Twilio, Palantir. I don't even know. And then right now I'm holding, lately, BarkBox and what was the other one? PaySafe. But I still like PaySafe. BarkBox, I'm not so sure about. That was, putting some of my Chewy profits back into there. But okay, Palantir right now. Let's look at this 2570. Here's a 20-minute chart. We touched it in a couple days ago in the pre-market, so we're going to look at 2570 today to possibly take that out. If that happens, then we go long. Last time it did happen in the pre-market, we went up to 26 and came right back. So you got to watch out. That was actually not in the pre-market. That was right as the market opened back on the 18th. So if Palantir can take out this 2570, we all in. And then, well, not all in, but and then back to 25 is obviously a pretty sweet deal as well if we can get that. With the NASDAQ hovering around flat, I do like these Palantir positions. We will check it out here. Ooh, we have Ford coming. Ford's about to go long, man, through 1520. We'll get to that. But Ford, NIO, BAC, XPEV, not much on here. There's Palantir, General Motors. These are market on open orders. So these are the orders that are going to have to get executed very, very soon off open. And guess what just happened with our play here? Remember what level I said we have to break? 2045. Well, we went there and turned around a little bit on Ether. So watch out with Ethereum coming to the upside. 2045 looks like it wants to break very, very soon. And as that's happening, guys, you are also going to note, yes, sir, we back from the dead, baby. Whoa. I can type there? That's cool. We're back from the dead on this name, and this is BTC. What the? Okay, I know that's just a new feature there. Look at this tank yesterday. We talked about that. And then a right back, man, consolidation and break. 35,000. Who thought we'd be talking about that today? 60% of you thought 20 was coming. I don't know. Now that's a little ways away from here. 35 for Bitcoin. We win again, guys. We win again.
All right, let's go to big tech. We had NASDAQ all-time highs at the close yesterday, looking to extend that move because, thankfully, a lot of those were back to the upside. So let's talk about, take your pick here, guys. They all need to participate if this is going to continue.
100%. I wanted to quickly talk about NVIDIA again. Of course, my daily chart, the last time it didn't want to come up, and it doesn't want to here as well, but you did make that high, 775. You read at the high, you read at these all-time highs in the market, guys, and you're getting right back into this like lower high that got put in at 760. I'll go out and say it. Look, obviously, you can talk about NVIDIA's always been technically one of those expensive stocks, if you want to put it that way. They've always beat anyways, and they've always managed to grow. So you don't want to bet against them for any of those reasons. All that said, it's such a fantastic return here going into that split that at some point it becomes a profit-taking scenario. I think if the market fails to make these fresh highs off to the open, and you're still looking at a chance to be between this 750, it's called like 755 as the pre-market low here, and anywhere near this 775 high, I think that's a nice little area to take some profit off, and the short trade can be on for NVIDIA as a day trade in that regards. I think if you're looking at the, if you're looking for the overall strength, and maybe somewhere where you want to pick them things up, I don't mind getting into like a Facebook today as well. But as you mentioned already, Sean, we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier because I kind of said AMD and Micron. I think the chip space might be another place to buy on that dip. I would favor on any move down in the day trade buying Micron or AMD over NVIDIA, just because I think it will likely retrace deeper than some of the other chip names because it's just been such a good run up. There's no avoiding it. So if we get a turnaround, it's likely NVIDIA is going to be deeper than the other names. Simple as that.
We'll hit the hot dogs because every time Neil mentions NVIDIA, I'm loving that because we talked about it. We tweeted it out again. I'm tweeting out my positions for you. We took NVIDIA long at 604 just a couple weeks ago. 770. Are you kidding me right now? So yeah, the money is just piling in on that. And then the last tweet that we made was about a month. I don't know, when was it? Yeah, March, April on, I guess 3 months ago on Facebook. My last buy was in the 270s right down here. If you want to know how I buy stock, it's pretty simple. You look for the best names. You look for these consolidations and you buy them. I've been managing my own money since I was 20 years old. Or maybe even less than that. So, I have Facebook prints again. We all do. If you've been managing, well, not all of us, but if you've been managing your money, like I remember when Facebook was $20, $30, $40, $50, right? And so that's what you got to do, man. If you're just brand new to this game, forget about the prices that you're seeing now. Pick the best stocks and then worry about them after. Like Facebook is going to split at some point 10-1, and then this thing goes to 500. So you take your choice right now. But we went long there. I like Facebook. I like Microsoft. I like all of these names. So let's just keep on watching big tech, and I think you buy them on any dip.
Go to Ford, leaving some of the best for last here, guys. We'll talk Ford up again today, moving higher after they said aftermarket yesterday. This actually came out. They're going to provide engines and transmissions along with other parts for the USPS contract that Oshkosh is going to put together. It looks like, if Workhorse doesn't have anything else to say about that, or Lordstown, I should say. But let's talk about Ford here having a little bit more positive momentum.
Yeah, when we, again, this is just another name that we've been hyping up. Oh yeah, by the way, we're into Wish right now, so let's hope that those pins lined up, they take out the top. We're in the money, 2 cents. Okay, we haven't been talking Ford for very long, because when it was up here at 16, I was talking about possibly selling this because it was such a big move in like 6 or 7 days off VWAP all the way up here. But now you're going to note it's back on the watch list for me. It's back on the sticky note as well. So as you can see, we're starting to break outside now. I mean, that USPS contract is fantastic. They don't need that, but I mean, the more news you get for them, the better it is. We've, again, tweeted out our buys down at 6. We tweeted out our buys down at 11. We actually bought it right in here, 11.30, right? That was a big play for me. And again, tweeted out. So I like it. I think we break the 16.50, no problem. So we're going to go long through 15.20. Ford all day, every day. We love this name. And yeah, man, everything is working out for us. Wish going upside as well. We're looking at that 14 break. Here's the Wish trade I just took on 13.85. It touches near 14. I mean, that's probably a good out because I want to go long through 14 as well. So we'll put an offer around 13.96 or so. Make sure that we'll take this dime just in case it retreats. And then we'll go hella long anyways through 14. So right now, Wish and Ford and Clover, man, we're going to try to go 3 for 3 here. Spin the money off early. It's only 9.21. Let's put an offer out on Wish. Take this, hopefully this 10, 12 cents, and then watch it break through 14, guys.
Yeah, right from Ford. And then a couple of days ago, and I think it was about sometime last week, maybe mid last week, we were talking about the EV space, and NIO was making this this run to the top. And we'll show XPED maybe in a second when we talk about their story as well. And then you were languishing, like Ford was basically barcoding and that kind of idea. And then the idea that if there was a pullback in these names, that's when you start to get going. So you had a 3-day move to the downside, you had a 3-day sort of slight bounce looking in some of your Fords and your GMs. But NIO in particular, you look back to that first move when we broke off of this top range, you're going to see 46.60 go, and then make this bottom right here at 45 even, 45.20, and that was a breakout price previously. We then made the flush yesterday, tried to recover that same 45.20 zone, and now you get this pre-market high here. This is pretty well set up here for a potential break in NIO to get you a move back into 46. Now, is it set up to have an extension? Like this is a 45 move that takes NIO to 50 on the day? Not necessarily that type of a move, guys. I think there's a little more room in that in a break of Tesla at 635 than there might be in this one. But hey, at the end of the day, like 50 to 75 cents worth of a move into some of those prices from the morning and yesterday is a good trade here on NIO as long as you want to make sure you control your downside. So I got that one locked and loaded. 7 minutes to go. I didn't want it at 9 o'clock necessarily, but we'll take this one off the open if we get that 45.20. Keeping in mind, I mean, I'm looking at Tesla as well. So if I get into both of those at exactly the same time on a breakout, at least minimum one of them I'll be taking out on a time basis, like in that first 30 seconds to a minute, just to lessen the exposure. 2 breakouts at once, if it snaps back to the downside, usually you want to be taking quick profit or trimming positions right away because breakout trades are a little different from that value dip buy that you're trying to do off the open, and these are both breaks to me.
A little dip on Southwest Airlines there. It is trying to bounce back here a little bit, but you can see a spike to the downside here. Their chairman and CEO, Gary Kelly, saying he's going to step aside. Southwest naming Robert Jordan their new CEO. So heads up on Southwest if you're watching that one today. Yeah, let's talk about XPEV, XPeng Incorporated, getting the thumbs up and the green light for a, $2 billion Hong Kong listing. That came out overnight, so positive here for XPEV.
Yeah, a couple of books will have 2 primary listings now, and look, they're going to raise some coin. It's the same. Like the chart's going to look almost eerily similar to Neo. That's why I sort of led with the Neo idea after we talked about Ford there. Just a bit of a bigger range here at that top. At least if you look at this previous high at 39, it's bouncing almost perfectly off of that 40 level that we did have. Now, does the setup look familiar? The only difference between this and this is essentially the same price on Neo. It's just like instead of like 45.20, you're looking at like 42.20. It's the same setup for a bit of a break. There just is a bigger gap in, and it's a more thin stock. It's a bigger spread usually. I'll always favor playing a breakout with the liquidity of an NIO than I will an XPeng. Just run into all kinds of trouble when we do it over here because you essentially have a dollar range till you get back to that next support level. So it looks similar, but the risk profile vastly different if you make this trade in XPeng here. And yes, I know they're the ones with the news, but the setup is relatively similar with that pullback from this 46. It was 50 on Neo, makes the base at 40 here. Now you're getting that gap up. It's just less extreme in NIO, a little bit more clean of a move here in Neo. So I'll be staying away from XPeng, but it is worth noting that setup is right there for the similar breakout.
Okay, so Microsoft just made a move down there. We actually just got long on Softy, so 265.23 there. Just got. I don't know what just happened there. We should maybe take a piece off right now for the dollar. I don't know what that news was. Is the NASDAQ? Oh, the market's starting to head down a bit here as well. So I got to fix this because my level 2 is not working that great there.
What?
I pushed this over. My level 2 is fine. Sorry, it was my time in sales there. Okay, so a nice little trade there. We'll see how high Microsoft wants to go. We just did get a low bid there on that NASDAQ. Google announcing launch of Google Cloud Community. So a new little spot there. I don't know if that hits Microsoft for some reason, but we just got a nice little bid there. And it's also fruit salad time. We just got a little fruit salad. That's why we stepped away. So which way you want to go? This one. Fruit salad today sponsored by pineapple and kiwi. So we're going to look at that one. But let's take a little piece off here on Microsoft. And, this is a nice 70-cent win right now. So we'll take it off and then wait to see where we go from here, guys. Brendan at the big screen.
It seems like there's an abundance of pineapple this year for some reason. I was in Kensington Market here in Toronto yesterday. Somebody was giving away like actual whole pineapples. JZXN, pretty quiet morning on small cap land so far today, but JZXN1, it's already come back a long way. 960 at the top, 850 at the bottom. I'm trying to hold 850, but this is a problem down here. Volume kind of dying off on this one already, but again, watch this kind of 875, 850 area, and then 950 at the top for JZXN, guys.
And this one not on the watch list, but I have been in this ACT. You can see, guys, in the bottom. I've been in this ACST. Haven't traded penny stocks in a while on the show, but I saw this one gapping up and doing good volume and solid volume on the morning. It's a pretty simple story. They report. You're going to look at the chart here and be able to see it's been a breakout off of 50 even. What's a 50? What's a 20? What's like a 50% move up to the upside from 50? Is that 75? Yeah, it's 75. And you had resistance previously at 75. And then you have a pre-market high here at 75. You can see what I'm getting at. We talk about these setups over and over again. It fails at that level. Sometimes it's obvious, but it fails at an obvious price level. Finally makes a bit of a bid. I then short pops the first one into this cluster, previous low, scalp it to the low of the day. It comes right back into this lower high at 71 off of this 72.5. I short that price. That's what I'm currently sitting in. I take profit on the way down. I'm sitting in front of low right now at 65. So you just pretend it's like a $7.50 stock or whatever works for you guys. But this one, for me, it's all about the setup here on ASCT. And as always, I will not be averaging. If it pops off the open, I'm not averaging into this trade. It either comes back in at 930 to that 71, 72 range, rolls over, and then I try to take it on that 930 rollover type idea. This is the one that, who knows, like you sit in this one potentially all day long. VTVT was pretty good for that yesterday. ACST is that play today for me.
All right, stack it up already. We're 2 for 2 or 3 for 3. Clover, Wish, Microsoft. There's 53 cents right there on Softy. So we're just going to put that money in our pocket, just for now. Normally, I would have held that. But again, it's a nice win for us here in the pre-market. A lot of you probably won't have it, but hey, if you hit the rewind button, guys, then you'll notice that I said earlier, we're waiting on the downside. I even said 265. So we were waiting on the downside of Softy, right? We've done this trade a couple times before, and we did it again today. So there it is, a nice smooth 50 cents. We'll hold on to only a third now, because I'm going to take that in the pre-market all day, every day, and not let the market tell me my trade. So there it is. We take that in. and then we take that out. That's 53 cents right there. And now we'll wait to see. We'll hold the last piece because, again, we do think we take out this 266.50, especially if the NASDAQ does go. So I actually want to, we're going to talk about this throughout the show. You're going to see Miss V ring the bell, okay? This is the thing. Miss V is wearing green. The NASDAQ's at all-time highs, but she's running out of green stuff. So we're going to talk about this, but there it is. Hi, Miss V. How are you? So she told me she wears size small. I want you guys to send our address apparently is at tradertv.live. You can find it. You guys are sending us stuff for the Stockfather. You're sending us stuff for Arun, but you're not sending anything for Valeria. So guys, send something. What do you want to see? Has to be appropriate. Work attire, right? Work attire, guys. And then she'll wear that green. Let's see if we can't get Miss V all sponsored up by you guys. Send her something nice green, something we could see, right? I think that's worth it there. If we don't support Miss V, then what are we doing? With only 20 seconds left, guys, let's get ready to rock and roll.
It's also self-serving because it's statistically,
right, that's the point,
statistically been working, guys. I'm not really making that up. We should actually have a poll. Well, not a poll. We'll keep track of this, guys. But market's about to open. I'm looking at that ENTX you guys are watching here. I know it's screaming to the upside. Here we go. 5, 4. Let's ring it, Miss V. 2 and 1. Market is open. Oh, no Neo breakout right away.
And there we go. So we're going to wait to Ford. Ford coming to the downside a little bit here. We do have some bids that we want to pick up on Ford. Maybe right now is not a horrible idea. 15, 10 or so. We'll see if we pick up a little bit. We want to get some 06s, 05s back down to the downside. So let's wait to see where Ford goes. We just picked up some 10s, guys.
Yeah, and that Wish immediately making a bit of a move here. It tried to get through that 14. Now you're getting that dip. I actually have a bid down around 13.20 because I wanted the dip buy on this name. And then we're continuing to flush on that ACST, whatever. You guys know the one, that penny stock. I'm still short. It's a penny stock. It's now 5 cents in the money. It's a 7-1. It's at 66. But Wish looking like it wants to make a test of that 14 right away.
We already doing this on Ford. There's that 06 bid we just talked about, out at 11. So let's go Ford, upside now. Wish we're long 1386. We still have that long. Let's wait to see where it goes. We have an offer upside right around now. I thought I did anyways, 1398. Good spot here for Wish. We can take out this 10 cents right now and then see if we do break 14. So right now, Wish, not bad to get out.
And Neo makes the break of that high. It immediately goes up, I don't know, like 5-10 cents, then stalls out a little bit. I have Tesla in the back of my mind as that is also a potential breakout play. But Neo went first, so Neo was the first one I'm going to have. Obviously, that goes without saying. I should have just gotten some out there, the first quick little 10-cent scalp trade. I'm going to go ahead and do that now because that's what we're supposed to do when I take a breakout trade. Neo to the upside. It was that nice setup. I could probably look over at XPeng. It might be doing the same thing, but Neo was the one that I wanted.
All right, guys. Yeah, we have everything we want so far, man. Big trade alerts everywhere, guys. Wish, in and out, bang. That's that 10 cents. We just talked about that. Microsoft still 30 cents in the money. Already took 50. Ford, Rip City right now, hopefully to the upside, man. We just take that as well. There goes Clover breaking the top. We have that. We have Palantir breaking the top. So let's just go, man. Big time, money time.
Yeah, Clover breaks that 25, the top end. I actually scalped that one out as well. I did talk about Tesla. It is not making that move. Whoa, wait a minute. No, it did. How did I not get that? Okay, are you kidding me, Tesla? Yep, there's me. I did not get that fill. So 635 did go on Tesla. Apologies there. That was the other breakout. We got Neo to the long side. Tesla also broke. I'll buy that one in a dip if it gives me the shot.
Okay, yeah, so far so good. Palantir, we did take that through the upside as well. We'll see if that can fade back into 25.50, but Palantir long, Clover long. Bang with Clover long, man. We've been hitting that one all day, every day. Superman is in the building, Brendo. And here he is. What's up, Brendan?
Another early mover, guys. Nikola popping up here. I'll show you why. First, they invested $50 million in this Wabash Valley Resources, so into some of the minerals that they require. So popping up here through 18 for Nikola once again, guys. 5% already.
Did I hear up and Nikola? Uh-oh, that's going to be trouble. I'm going to stay away. I'm just going to automatically short it. There goes Tesla now, like 640, of course. So obviously Gonzo, guys. And NIO, it's slowing a little bit here. So you're seeing Tesla be a little bit outsized. There is NIO slowing down a little bit. It got to 45.50 on a dip. I'll buy this one back at 45.15s.
All right, so Wish, we just took a little bit out there. It goes as high as 11 and nothing more. So let's wait to see where this thing goes. We talked about taking it through 14 and then holding it back through 13. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to try to follow the magic road there. Palantir, nice move, guys. Look where we're going on PLTR right now. How about the moon? How does that sound? Bang on Palantir, guys. We take out the big stick. I told you this is what we're doing on Palantir. I told you this is what we're doing on Ford. I told you this is what we're doing on Clover. So let's just keep on celebrating to the upside, man. 25.85 out to the upside on Palantir as we just continue to make this money, man. Microsoft 70 cents now with the money. That's a good one. Wish fading, but again, we'll wait on that. We've already taken some money out, coming back down to that 13.85. This could be a disaster. We've talked about this already. I don't like the company, but just the momentum and the fact that it was number one on Wall Street Bets, that might have been what just created that. We have a lot of volume coming in, more volume than we had yesterday. So let's wait for Wish, but you do have 13. It could wind up being a horrendous trade, but I'm holding it back down to 13 as we're going to go 5 for 5 to start the day, guys. Good day.
And remember how ugly Torch is? It's actually getting uglier. It's immediately heading down towards that 485.5 area. There was no pop to fade. Of course, I wanted to fade a pop here. If it had one, it didn't do it at all. You're now down at 540. Remember that $5 range. That's the key level. Brenda, what's up, bud?
Tesla, guys, we mentioned in the pre-market here, 2.5%. Nice move off the bat here, 632 to 640 for Tesla, 2.5%.
I'm not happy with that one. My stop order looks like, I don't know. I didn't get the fill on Tesla, so I probably should have crossed a little more aggressively. Torch is at the front of the mind here. If it makes any kind, I'm talking almost any kind of pop that gives me an actionable trade back into this previous low at 566, that's what I'm going to go for. I want to be on the south side of Torchlight. And we talked about this one. It's been weak. I haven't even looked at AMC yet, but for those of you that are tracking, it is still watchable in this range, but you want that 60 level to get tested. Otherwise, that 52 to 54 has been two support levels that are worth actioning on. And Wish, I'm not in it. I wanted to break out of this range. And we talked about that 14 fail break before and that 14.50 level at the top. If it breaks low of the day, I still only want the long on and the dip as well. But neither of those happening. Wish, range bound. That won't last long.
No, yeah, we're already in Wish there at the top, so we'll wait to see that one. 1480. I was just looking to see, if Ford does get bad, how bad does it get? And I was just looking yesterday, it was right basically down here, 1480, so that's not bad at all. So we will continue to take more shares of Ford until that level comes through, including more reloads right here, right now, 1505, 1506, man. Big reloads. You can see my price, 5.5s. We're up to 9s. We have offers at, I had an offer at 10 there. Should have took that out at 9, but we'll wait to see where Ford goes. And someone on the chat is like, I talked about Ford at 1520. Yeah, I love that 1520. So if I like it there, I like it even more right now, but we have to remember we've taken long on Ford before and it's cracked us a couple times, so you got to watch out. But what's not cracking us, someone hit Superman before, I'll hit it this time myself. Look at Microsoft, guys. This is $1 and change now. $1 and change. How about $1.50 now in the money? We talked about putting low bids. Anyone could have got these, man. 35s, 40s, 50s, anything. You're now nicely in the money on Softy, so that's a runner and a chicken dinner winner. And then what about the other one, man? We're having a big day when my 2 favorite stocks, and then add 4 to that, 3 favorite stocks. We're barbecuing up the profits today as Palantir. Again, you guys can talk about it. Rewatch it, man. Rewatch when I talked about Palantir. I said we all in on a 25.70 break. Hallelujah. It's dance time over here, guys.
And remember that penny stock? Look, you just think about those setups, play them the same way because it's going to be pretty obvious. This one's going straight down the toilet, ACST. It just broke that low of 65, so you get that lower high. You see that 75 on the daily chart? Once you have a failure off that price, you're looking for those consolidation lows. Stock is now down at like 64 cents. I just got some out there at 63s. I continue to hold this position. You're not going to be able to get me out of this short unless we're back above VWAP at this particular point. Clover is going back to the downside. NEO was worth a dip buy here. We got that dip. Well, I got to zoom back in because that stock was insane. It was worth that dip buy. I actually flushed it, and this did not go down here, but it tested this 45 level, and I missed a chance to get some at 45. That doesn't mean I shouldn't be covering some back at 45.25 because, reasonably speaking, the dip should have been in at 45, and you got to pretend that you had that price because that's part of the plan, guys. You can't sit there and say, oh, I didn't miss that trade. I'm just going to hang on to what I have. Forget about it. The action now is off this level at 44.90 and then covering some in the 44.25 range and holding on the core position in case it goes higher.
Okay, so we're in AMC right now, 59.20. Let's go AMC to the upside. We'll see if that one can run, man. We really happy with the trades today. So far, we'll see if AMC can start it off 1.85% to the upside right now, holding AMC, and see where we can go. Maybe back down to 57 or so as a breaking spot here on AMC. So I'm pretty happy to hold this one. Let's see how high we can fly on this one. Brendo.
This one not very active pre-market either, but right out of the gate, Moxie, guys. Moxian popping up here. Yeah, 20% already, coming back to that, what was that high there? 1994, 1995 from a couple days ago for Moxie.
Oh, I'm going to talk about that ENTX in a quick second here, guys. This is one Brendan had mentioned. It just pulled back off that high. So right at 930, it pulls back in. There is some consolidation happening. It looks like it could make a 660 break. So I'd watch out for this. The volume spiked at the open and sort of gliding to the downside. And if that trend continues, you might see a bit of a pullback. There is also that wish, which I keep wishing, yeah, that's a terrible pun. I keep wishing it'll actually make that breakout, but you have to think about it. I'll go right back in here to show you guys. Every time at 14, it's failed this break several times. You got 1440 up here. You had 14 and like maybe a quarter, maybe 10s to 15s as that lower high. That's where you got that push. Otherwise, these are the levels I like on that dip, and it still has a chance to roll over. If it takes out that top, fair enough. I still like the long break at yesterday's high. It's doing absolutely nothing.
Dip. Yeah, we're just sitting here just like enjoying life right now. Wish does come all the way back. We take a little bit out there. Wish has been a good one for us, man. Genius. Okay, we'll look at that for you guys. Mark, the realtor. Hey, how's real estate going? In Toronto, it's like 29% year over year. I'd like to get out of Toronto, but I live here. So, you know, I got to just keep sitting on that house. But what's up? So that was Wish, Genius Brands. Yeah, we'll talk about all those, man. Ford, I mean, here's another one. I mean, it's just killer. Cam is in the building. Just upside on Ford. Just, you know, what great buys this was, man. We took a little bit of a risk there at 11, and we did to get those out. And then we averaged into 05 and 06s down here, and then just took some out at 15 or 16. I don't know, whatever that price was. Yeah, 15 right there. So a nice out on that side. Microsoft coming back in, man. We did have $1 higher than this. So Microsoft fading. Nice little bump up in the NASDAQ. I'm already out at 2/3 of this. It's right back down to VWAP. So I don't know why this is failing right here. I want to hold Microsoft, but for right now, I don't know. I dump Microsoft, and I come back every day like at 3 o'clock, and I realize it's $5 in the money. So I got to hold that one. Oh, yeah, I know we're going to go to Brendan in a minute, but right now, AMC is flying. So let's go, Apes. Bang, $1 in the money. Let's go, AMC.
I don't know if you're still looking at that Clover, but Clover, bring that break, dip bot here, failed to the bottom, and now takes out this 1340 area as well. So I'm out of Clover and hunting back towards, it'll go right back into this 13 price, 13 even to 1290. If it bounces off that price, that's the next buy that I would have on Clove. Brendo?
Yeah, Netflix, I should say. I was going to say the NASDAQ at day highs. This is one of the reasons, guys. Netflix also at day highs. Big volume alert there through yesterday's high, which was 513.5 for Netflix.
All right, let's go AMC. I'm just tweeting this out right now. We do have this long. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out where we're going to try to get out. Nothing really on the daily. I mean, 65. That doesn't look like anything right now. We'll zoom back in. Yesterday, we didn't reach this high, did we? No, we did not. So AMC off the open, though, I guess got as high as, you know, we had some consolidation here, 61, 61.50. So we'll take this out for a buck and change. But I want to hold it to see what happens today on AMC. So far, so good right here, guys.
And I do want to come to one name, this like SEAC, it's Sea Change. This was on my list a little bit early. Come on, load up. This was on my list a little bit earlier. It made one push into the high of the day. I wanted to see, it's that same setup at 9:30. Does it push into that high? Does it give you that little failure? It's not a penny stock, but it is a penny stock. Let's call it that. If it makes another consolidation off this level, I did miss that first short off that 140 high. I am looking for about that 135 range. So I don't think it made the watch list, but it's that same setup that we've taken before. I'm going to get some orders out just so I don't miss that move a second time through. It was a missed opportunity for me because it's already giving you like a 10-cent move on a $1 stock, which is pretty solid. We'll see if we can't get it the second time.
All right. Yeah, so still $1 now. I mean, now we're starting to rip, guys. Let's go. Let's see how many hands we can have. Throw your hands up, you know, because right here, diamonds trying to go through, man. 60. This is $1 now in the money on AMC. Let's just keep on riding that baby to the high side. And then here goes Wish, man. Context logic. Let's see. You know, we were long early at 1385. We've just been dancing now on Wish, so we'll wait to see where it goes. It gets. Whoa, it just got as high as 20 there. Oh, I didn't have any offers. Damn it. Okay, so we got to switch that up and put some offers there on Wish to make sure we do get out the next time it tests upside. We are long and in charge right now on that name. And there goes the beauty of the stock as Ford kicking, man. Wow, did we crush this stock.
Oh my goodness, there was another one, and it's going to be that FIG. I'll get to that one in a quick second. Torch, though, it missed my offer by 5 cents. 550 is where it just pulled back into. And I get a little more aggressive here. There's still room to that 5 to 490, but it's getting rather close to that support level that, I hate to say it, but Torch might actually catch a bit of a bid down there. So in anticipation of that, I want to be shorting off this cluster. So we'll call it 540. There's a limit to how far I'll chase this move down. This is probably going to be it. At that point, it becomes a look at that low level, that 485 to 5 even area where Torch could finally find an actual bid. It's been getting crushed. Brendo?
Quite the range here for XPeng so far. We came all the way down to 41. Big bounce then, right back to 41.80 here for XPEV, doing all kinds of volume as well. That ENTX halted as well, guys, to the upside.
I mean, this Ford is just like, I'm speechless, really. I mean, the amount of money that you can make on a stock like this when you're right, buy these dips, man, and then you get that blow to the top. And we took some out there at 23 because, again, although it's going to, now our average price is 20, or 21, but you're going to see like that was such a good trade there on the upside. So we're really super happy with that. I just got into something else there. Torch on the downside. So this is the levels, man. We called the short yesterday at 10, so I can't believe I'm able to buy it today at 5. But remember, that level's 5. So if we break below Torch here at 5, we're going to get out of this name, but we like this for now. Torch on the downside. Low side, maybe 480 or so. So we'll see if Torch can hold some of these levels, but right now that's a good one for us. I like that price. AMC, Ford, everything rocking and rolling, man. Microsoft, like look at all these longs. AMC, 70 cents in the money. Clover, not great, took some out. We'll still be positive on this name. It's got to go back up. Ford, doesn't get any better than that. Microsoft, I can't keep doing that. Palantir, we've already crushed that name. Torch, we're in it now, okay? And then Wish, upside, we just took out some 13s there actually. So that's a 10-cent winner. So Wish going to be positive for us. But yeah, so far so good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we going to go 7 for 7, baby? The chicken seems to think so. So I don't know what you're having for dinner tonight, but I might throw on some ribs. There goes Ford, guys. Nice move on Ford. 15.28. It's dancing party time over here. Neil, take it away, bud.
There's going to be a reopen in like 3 minutes or 2 minutes on ENTX. We don't have any locates. I'm going to keep looking for them. That means, obviously, if it's hard to borrow for us, a lot of times it means that most people can't short this name. Does that mean... Look, it doesn't tell you anything about the price action, but if it does make another push in here to the upside, what I would think about is at 8 even. If it holds, this is 750, which is a great psychological level. If it holds this price range, previous high, and then the whole price, I think it's a good, nice little flush into 680. I won't have it unless we get those locates real fast. Brendo?
I noticed that JD.com was up in the pre-market, wasn't doing a lot of volume. This one as well, guys. Alibaba, 2%. Nice looking chart here from 213 up to above 215 once again for Baba.
Let's go.
We've got score.
Yeah, we love Alibaba. We've been loving it too long time because we've been buying that thing for a while now, and it just hasn't done anything. Should have just put the money in the U.S. companies like an Apple, which we did at 120, like a Microsoft, which we did at 240, and like a Facebook, like we did at 270, like Google, we do every time it bounces, and then Ford, we have some money into that name as well, as you guys know. AMC, it's funny because my net just keeps going up, but AMC's not really doing anything. It does go to 61. That was a $1.80 win there. We're going to take an offer and put it at 60.80 again. If we can get that, that's great. AMC might have just made its move, so we might have missed out on that one. So it's too bad because the net, like I said, just keeps on climbing, and I kind of ignored it. I didn't even realize how high up there AMC went. Torch back in, Palantir all the way back in as well. So that's why that cash out is huge, man. 10, 20, 40, 60. No, that's wrong. 20, 40, 60, 80. We only have 20% left there. So that's good math there, Sean, on Palantir. So we'll watch out for that one. Micros, everything's rocking and rolling. We just got to watch out, make sure we take some of these profits, guys, because you can lose it all just as fast as you can make it. So definitely have some outs on.
Like that's what happened in both like Clover breakout, initially make money, then it flushes downside. Same thing with the Neo breakout. Now ALF goes in the other direction. So if you're only looking for those shorts, that was a great rollover at that. We talked about it, that 930 play, test into the high at that 15 and then roll over. If Alpha, and it's down 19%, guys. If that one comes back into this 14 range, I think it's a go zone. And we did talk about, my 15-minute has blown up. So we did talk about the dip buy. I'll show you guys on the 2 levels here. If it goes crazy, 1060, but it still has that afternoon low at 1240 here on Alpha. It can catch a bid. I did get that SEAC, so started at 1320, sorry. 132, just pretend it's a $13.20 stock, 13.20. It's pretty easy that way. And then you're going to go back over to Tesla. This is the one that obviously it's the one that got away. We talked about 635 break and loving it, but it is what it is. I'm going to miss that trade. I had to stop in there. Probably wasn't aggressive enough. I'll go back and check it when I get a moment, but now up at like 10 bucks. So I said I'm moving away from that 640 level, which I always love on Tesla, to 35. It's a pretty big breakout. You're now getting to 650, which, forget about the daily, it's not split adjusted. We'll zoom in here just a little bit. You're getting to that 650 level. Now, I know 666 is a big one, but that 650 could be a psychological level that gives us a dip buy. I wanted to pull back so I can get into this one. I'm not even thinking about short on Tesla today.
All right, just wanting to see if there's anything else moving here that we might want to watch out for. Ford scared me a little bit there, so we did get some out. This 21 is nothing. We did get some out there at 23, as now it comes back up. I'm a little bit nervous. We did have to get out of our Microsoft there as it does break through VWAP, so there's another good trade there. No diamond hands for us, but we spit out the money on Softy, right? A great print. Softy actually hasn't been that great today. We were really lucky to get that low print. So although that's why we take that initially, and then we should have took that $1.70 at the top side. It looks silly now that we didn't. The NASDAQ blew up, and I just thought Microsoft could continue to go to the upside there. And I don't think I'm wrong. And I think we got to get back into Softy at some point. I think right here, a 266 break. So let's see. Let's get confirmation that we want to break through 266, guys. We are going to go to Miss V at the big screen soon, but I want to tell you guys, I'm dead serious. Like, if there's anything that some of you guys are in fashion and do have stores and things like that, if you want to send something, it's tradertv.live. Our address is there. I just feel bad that the stock father gets stuff, Arun gets stuff, and she don't. What up, Ms. V?
Hey Sean, a lot of positive movers on the market today, and another name we would love to talk about is Workhorse. Stock is up more than 5%, guys.
I want to get to Workhorse. We were talking some about the EV names, but I got to cover that C, which did make that push to the upside. This is why we talked about getting short in front of that lower high and that 140. I was able to get 32. It's going to sit on the bid here at 126. On a penny stock or dollar stock, if you're not taking profit, it'll be 5 cents. I'm not sure what kind of a move you're looking for there. So I'm going to get some of that out on C. Workhorse has been in the doldrums at least a little bit, and you're going to end a little bit of that today. Now you're seeing breakouts across the board in some of these EV names that have been pulling back. The difference with Workhorse is look at the size of the clusters that you're starting to get into here. Better on the 15-minute to see it there than on the daily chart, but you have this level of forming at $16. With a couple of failed breaks at that particular price, Workhorse could be due for a bit of a turnaround there. And then you have like a sort of granddaddy 18 level where it had multiple turnarounds. It's been a Wall Street Bets name as well. It's been a squeeze play as well. Starting to get going, but it has not even broken last week's range. Look at that 16 level. It's a big one on Workhorse. If you got it long from that 14 or 14.50 break, not a horrible idea to lock in some profit in front of 16s.
All right, I wish I was a baller, but wait. We'll dap it up as we go long on Wish, guys. Good trades, guys. 1385 long, 14 long, out here. Let's wait to see where we go. My next target is upside, obviously, 1430, but I don't know if it gets to there, so we'll have to. I'm just canceling some of these bids because I have some lower. I have a lot of orders out right now that I'm not really sure why. But okay, Wish trying to go to the upside there. Torch now Torch not going was going a little bit there up to 32 when we initially got those 21s. But I like a bid down here on Torch, so let's see where that goes. I messed up and didn't put a Microsoft bid in at 266. That's fine. It's not really doing anything. I may change my mind on that one. Again, Facebook. Like, let's just go diamond hands on this one. We're loving Facebook for a very, very long time, and it's just straight to the upside. My net is just blowing up here, so something's going. Ford AMC's going back up, so nice little move back to the upside here. We'll see if we get a 60-80 again on AMC. Take that out for that $1.80 win. The same thing we didn't do on Softy. Mr. Wickens.
Another therapeutics company just popping up here, BLPH. Big mover today. It's already been halted. Wow, that was a pretty big gap, a dollar gap there if that's where it resumed. 580 up there at the top, guys, 34% for BLPH.
Speaking of halts, that ENTX opens up and is still looking relatively strong. Still don't have any, and hopefully we're going to be able to get some locates here, because if it makes another halt, I'm going to want to be all over it. Now the difference here, you saw BLPH, that's like halts, open for a minute, and then halt again kind of idea. ENTX looks a heck of a lot more liquid. It's crossed 50 million shares in volume, which is pretty impressive. Still going to be sitting in this ASET, but when you talk about taking profit, it's not just enough to have an in. You got to start thinking about your outs. This stock, this 60 level, this was previous resistance. You come in here, you're getting down to 60 cents. This is the move, guys. you get a pull like this off of 75 and you get a short like that, you have to be taking more aggressive profits out in front of like 61.6, which I'm going to go ahead and do here if I can. And then the rest, looking at this 56 to 60 area to be getting out. So I'll put some bids down there. You want to make sure when these flushes come on these penny stocks, you're taking advantage of them and letting it fall through your price. But I got to get a little bit more aggressive in front of 60 after that bounce. Brendan?
I just saw this one as well, Neil. You were talking about this yesterday. Space, another day, another high here. We got up to about 39.80 yesterday, so 41.5 here. Not seeing anything though for space. 5%.
I can look. I could cheerlead this one if you want, but I'm not going to. And the only reason is, come on, daily chart. Come on, daily. Don't do it to me. Look, there we go. That's what I want to show you guys. Like where this stock came from before. You're starting to get pretty outsized. We're still flat on the session. They still have a test that has to come through. If there is a turnaround, and look back to this 42.50 price, guys. I mentioned this I think yesterday as well. If there is a turnaround in this market and we get a pullback in the NASDAQ, we're basically flat on the session, and we get a pullback here, these are some of the names that are going to get hit the hardest. And Virgin Galactic, from now, you're talking, this is a 34 support. That's now sitting at like 20% away. Like that's a pretty big move, guys. And then I want to come, it brings me back to NVIDIA, which is getting towards, again, it's a great opportunity to take some profit off. I wish I could. But it's getting to that price level as well, where you start thinking about that potential rollover. If it can't take out that high, it gets into that 60 to 75 range, and the market can't make a fresh high, it's just run so far that it makes a heck of a lot of sense to lock some in, especially if you were looking more on a swing idea there, guys. That's the key thing. If it's long-term investment and you're talking about 10 years, then none of that matters. You bought NVIDIA to hold it. So we're really just talking about shorter-term time frames here. Although with Virgin Galactic, remember, they don't actually make any money yet. NVIDIA clearly does. So a bit of a different story there.
Yeah, NVIDIA. What is Wish doing again? Yeah, I mean, we love NVIDIA and we love AMD. Oh, you know what? I got to check AMD because we talked about that. Wish I tried to get out some at 15 and missed that, guys. So we should have took that out. That's okay. We'll wait to see if it gets back upside there. I'm getting nervous now. How many times does a stock like this need to keep testing the highs before eventually retesting the lows? So that's, a little bit there. People messaging me on Twitter about Wish and stuff, and I just said, if you're long, just watch out for the 13 bottom off some of these lows right here. So just watch out if you are long. Hold it now. I don't know where it's going to go, but just make sure that you have it out. And that's the thing we keep telling you guys every time here on the show is that if you're going to trade with us, understand that we always have outs. So it's not about holding something to the moon or anything like that. We got to be flat at the end of every day. So AMC coming back in. Ford up again, man. We didn't reload at 20 there. That we probably should have. So now that we've seen this happen, we're going to reload Ford backside at 20 again, guys. So there it is. So there's the Wish. Oh, no. Did I have two? Oh, shoot. I think I had two orders out there at 15. Yeah, I did. Damn it. I got out twice there at 15. I just saw that I was flat. But that's fine. We'll take it, man. It's money spitting out. We'll dap it up. We'll come flying in now as Wish. A good trade for us. We were long. It was one of the #1 stocks here on my list today for Wish. So if you guys want to find that, go to my Twitter and you'll find the sticky note. Wish, Alpha. I told you Alpha was coming down. No reason to look long, okay? Let's just check Alpha out. No reason to look long, I said on Alf. No reason to look long. So there it is. We did it again, guys, on that name. So, hey, it's just been such a fantastic run, and I want to thank everybody for watching us here at Trader TV Live.
Yeah, Alpha is going to be a good one, and obviously, and there's ways to get into those trades. We talk about that 930. Now, we talk about these halt trades. I got some locates on ENTX, but this is not the setup. Right, like I want to see us breaking previous halt levels or making new halt levels for an entry into this particular one here. So ENTX, it is on the move. I don't think we got to maybe Brendan got to the daily chart. I hope he did. But $10 was the last spike. You don't have a heck of a lot of significance outside of this 8, which was 785, or let's say 8 area, which was a previous level. If you go before that $10 range got made, it doesn't mean it's an entry for me. I need it below that halt price or making a fresh one. Brendo?
Big movers again today. The energy sector. We had a bit of a breather yesterday, but look at this. Oxy 6% so far today. This high right here was 30.75. We're up to 31.80. Watch out for 32.50, which is way up there, guys. The next stop possibly for Oxy.
I don't know, Ryan, why you owe me a steak, but I'll take it, man. Medium rare. Don't cook it and send it. Maybe just send a raw one, and I'll deal with that. But thank you so much there, and thank you for Tyrone Biggums. He loves me flying in on that plane. So what's up to you, Tyrone, as well? Look, guys, it's there's lots of names to trade, but I'm just in a few here, and there's reasons why. You guys know the reasons, man. I'm picking them very, very specifically and trying to make as best I can decisions on the stocks that I'm looking at, and it's just been working out. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to go 7 for 7 today, so all good on that front. But it is AMC pending. We did have, I mean, this is not a big position, or I would have took it out, guys. So we are waiting. We're just playing with smaller shares on AMC because of the way it moves. I should have took that out for $1.80. That would have been a great winner there. So that's a little bit of a mistake there for me. And then we hold Clover all the way. Should have reloaded it. Was not sure about it. Now Clover comes back in, putting us again in a winning spot here for Clover. So yeah, I mean, this is just the way it's going for us today. We'll see if Clover can take out this 1450. But once again, man, we held it all the way back down. We had our outs at 13. We talked about that. That never hit. I must have had some canceled in here because I would have gone long again at the same area. So I'm not sure why I didn't, but again, you know, Clover long here, 1364, out 14, long again, 1425, out in the 40s, and then now we'll see where it goes from here. But Clover sending the market and my net skyrocketing, guys.
I mean, the market, we're up
Look
like
at the NASDAQ,
here.
man.
I mean, look, we're up a little bit testing that high, and I bring up Tesla because we're at that 650 level, right? So Tesla doesn't even pull back at any point here. There was a little pullback off 645, but we're basically making this nice little wedge pattern. Like, I'd love it to dip back in and maybe a couple of tests, shake some people out, and then you get a 650 break on Tesla, or we just get a straight dip buy into 640. But either way, Tesla looking very, very, very strong. We talked about XPEV sort of off the, whoops. We talked about XPEV as that dual listing. Look at the flush it made down. It's always a little bit more violent than some of the other names. So Tesla, on its own, making a strong move. You probably got to throw it out of the category of the NEOs, and then maybe today's strength is certainly showing you that whole NIO, XPEV, Tesla, no, these guys are not in the same category. They're not moving lockstep. XPEV very, very weak on that number. Despite the fact that it's up 3.5%, that is very, very deceiving. It is selling off hard every time it gets toward those highs. But watch out. It's 42.65, these lower highs. You're probably now looking at the pre-market high at 42.20 for a bit of a rollover. I did get some out of that SEAC. It is still very, there we go. It's still holding above this 120 level. So if it pops again, I'll still short 136, but the real breakdown would have to be that 120 level. And of course, I know you guys are looking at Genius. Low. It's going pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. My system is so slow today. I don't see a heck of a lot going on in Genius Brands today. I understand you guys are watching a couple of names here, and we thank you guys for the super chats. But you know, it's basically barcoding. The daily chart is a little bit sleepy. It's trying to make a bit of a turnaround, but there isn't a heck of a lot. I mean, even if you're talking about like a 2 break or a break right here, there's all kinds of chop till this thing gets to like 210. Fine, there's support at 180. It gets a little bit exciting if it gets down to like a 180 for a dip trade, but not a heck of a lot going on. We appreciate the super chat. I know you guys are excited about it, but Genius Brands not moving a heck of a lot for a day trade for us.
I know Ford will probably be the trade of the day, but Wish could easily be the trade of the day as well, guys. So it'll be probably Ford trade. We'll talk about it after, but Wish, a good long, and then look at that out, man. 14, 15 there. We only wanted to get one piece out, but we wound up getting out both. So an accident that we're not still small long, but these outs, man, like we picked this out at the top there. Perfect. So again, and that's what I talked about. When Wall Street Bets is on a name and it doesn't start to run, you got to get it out early, guys. So watch out for Wish. Or I could make ALF, the trade of the day, even though I don't have it. But I told you guys don't go long on that name. So hopefully that was something that was taken in consideration. That looks different today, the screen, but we're going to go over to Brendo with, what is this segment called?
That looks...
Happening Now. I don't know, I just started.
It's 10 o'clock. Let's check out what's happening now. As far as North American markets are concerned, S&P 500, 0.1 in positive territory, but just. The Dow, you can see, has gone red. Look at the NASDAQ trying to lead. As we said, we need some of those tech stocks to participate if this is going to hold up. The Russell, 0.5% so far here in Toronto. The TSX, dead flat once again today. Nothing going on. Yeah, I mentioned some of these going to have to participate. Apple, it is exactly flat right now. We're just chopping around within its own range so far. NVIDIA, on the other hand, trying to test the highs, or just was trying to test the highs, up about a full percent already. AMD playing along with that, guys. So chip makers showing little relative strength once again today. Back over to you.
And we talked about, look, you just prefer, it's a momentum thing, right? Like if the market holds out and doesn't do a heck of a lot, that, AMD and something like a Micron would be better than the NVIDIA, which is not bad. NEO flushed out on the second long. The breakout was okay. The second long stunk, but we held the pre-market low. Missed a chance to get back in, but it makes a dip by and holds this higher level here at 44.90. So you guys have seen that set up in AMC. It works for NEO as well, where you hold that low, you look for the higher low made break, and then you try to hang on. Maybe you form that wedge into 44.50, which is the current high of the day. Either way, you do not look a gift horse in the mouth, which I'm doing at the current moment. We'll try to take some out here around VWAP. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Yeah, whatever. You guys, that is looking the gift horse in the mouth when I hit that key, but you don't want to do that. So you scalp some out here. You want to hold the core position in case you get that bounce into 45.50, but you're looking to continuously make those higher lows. Now, EO will make a little bit back there and then talk about, well, we can talk about ALF or Tesla, but I think Tesla, for me, I don't mind missing out on the ALF rollover short, because that's a specific trade where it's like it pops at the open, gives you a test, and you got to get into the short off that high of the day. Tesla was a straight breakout. It was 635 break, so you missed that. It just simply has to do with like your key execution, right? Like I just didn't cross far enough. There's nothing, there's nothing to miss there other than sort of messing up on the keystroke. It bounces off of that 650 at least for now, but this isn't even a deep retracement. Like we're not getting back into this 640 VWAP, 642 guys. And if you guys, I saw a question about the volume weighted average price. We got educational videos out there. It's a little bit hard while trading to go into a deep dive. That's why we make them for you. If you got suggestions on things you want to learn about, pop them in the chat or email us or tweet at one of us guys, and we'll make those for you. But we do have one on VWAP specifically, so you can always check that out.
Yep, for sure. And okay, so I have Ford up, but again, it's just crazy. Like I put low bids on Microsoft and I forgot about AMD. If you guys remember what I said about AMD as well, load up back into 83 here. Oh man, congratulations. I see a lot of people on the chat that did that. So look, this is why we make money. I mean, so that's fine. But realistically, I just want you guys to keep coming back, right? Come back every single day for the ideas. Keep coming back for the sticky note. Come back for the watch list. Come back to see my cute kids. Come back for the excitement. Come back for me to forget about what that's called up there when I throw to Brendan. It's just, we have a show on here, high production. I want to say thank you again to Lucas and to Rob for everything that they're doing as well on the show. There they are. And it's been such a great ride and such a good success story for us, but it wouldn't be a success without you guys. So once again, thank you so much for all of that. And thank you again for my parents for giving me something a little bit up here. So thank you, Mom and Dad. Love you so much. There's another one, man. Another winner for us on Torch. So there it goes to the upside. We just take out 15 cents there on that Torch play. There it is, man. We called these levels again. So back upside and out there. So hey, look, this is fun times. Oh yeah, and by the way, now we get into ALF. But I told you, like when ALF was at 15, I said 12 was coming. It's just so stupid that I didn't wind up shorting it. But there's ALF, guys, right down to 12. So hell yeah on that one. That's where we come flying in, Mr. Tyrone, on that trade right there.
Just gonna get this one out here, and we try to tell you guys both the stocks that are gonna be moving. But the other thing too is the setup.
Look at Palantir.
And look, you're gonna get the same one on SEAC. This one we actually were able to catch. It doesn't always give you this second look here, guys. You might have to catch it the first time at 9:30. That's why I say this stock is on the radar for a pop, a reversal trade. It is what it is. We end up getting 132s when it spiked up into us. It's now down at like a $1.17, so it continues to fade all day long. And Brendan's got some news for us. What's up, bud?
We have these little teeny tiny pharma, therapeutic, biopharma type companies popping up today. This one, AIKI, filing a patent for a ketamine treatment for Alzheimer's disease. So 15% just popped up on a volume spike there for AIKI.
Guys, look at Palantir. I just talked about that on the chat there, guys. Yeah, you're right, Brittany. What up, Brittany? You've been with us for a long time as well on the chat. Finally, Palantir. Look, finally not. For me, I've called this play. So we watched Palantir. We watched it down here, guys. I told you where the next stops were on Palantir. You guys, look, those of you that were watching this is not like let's look back at a stock after the move's already been done. No. We talk about plays that are going to happen in the future, guys. This is it. 27. I talked about this coming up to these levels again. So we're right here, right now. We're like 80 cents away from this 27. So look, if you're long down here at 18 and change, I may even take some out myself today. Probably not. Wink, wink. Okay, but, oh, that's right. You guys want to see that wink? This thing is the craziest thing. You guys like this wink, so we're going to put it on right now. Apparently, this is the most creepiest thing ever. I probably agree with that one there, but there it is. Yeah, what's up? But we talked about Palantir for a while, so here we are, long 35 cents in the money, and it's no surprise to me, but there goes Palantir. So we're going to hold this, see if it continues on with its day. Microsoft, of course, still bouncing. Good job getting out of that one. I'll pat myself on the back there. And then Torch and Ford. Oh, yeah, we reloaded on Ford, guys. Remember we said that next time it comes down to 20, we got 21s, out 25s there on Ford. So far, so good. The only position we have on that's in any kind of a situation is ALF. So we took that one a little bit too low there. We got too excited on that and take a 12 break. So we'll wait to see where ALF goes from here. Want to average in and then get out eventually if it breaks back above 13. That's ALF.
Yeah, it ain't that strong. I wouldn't be too worried about it. But I will power up for NIO. It does make that nice little bounce. We talk about the pre-market low holding. You get right back into it. It doesn't matter if you take a hit. You have to play the setup that's going to be there. It then bounces off of that previous level at 44.90. We get it on the way up. So catch this one at 94 as we get the entry. We take some out immediately for a 45 scalp. We take some out at VWAP. And then we take some out at the high of the day. This is where I want to get all flat. Why? Now a triple top. It can always break 45.50 here and give you a bit of a breakout play. But also look back into the dip. We can look for two levels. Of course, we'll be looking back at 44, 44.85 to 45 even, or simply back at VWAP, which was also the pre-market high, that 45.15 to 45.20 break. So couple of ways you can play into this one. If you're really aggressive, it is forming that wedge. It's put in those lower highs. The market is still trying to make that breakout play, and NIO looks like it's primed to continue. So file away the breakout at 45.50. I want to see the bid above there. It did tick to 51s, but the bid didn't follow, so there's no true breakout when that happens. NIO on the dip and the break, we'll take it either way.
All right, so Eternal One, I said I'd do this, so. Okay, I'm reloaded. All right, so there it is. You guys wanted that one. You got it there. We reloaded on Ford, and now it's coming back to the downside, but we did get out. So now we're holding a pretty small position here. And again, unless the NASDAQ, like I just talked about it being at all-time highs, which it is again. Right now, the ES also pushing to days high right now. Well, trying to anyways. It's very, very choppy. Like, is there not a worse day for the market? Like, I mean, I don't remember the last time we've seen this. Up, down, like this is about 5 times now up and down on the ES today. So if that doesn't bode well for scalping, then I don't know what does. So you have to watch out, pay attention to the market. The NASDAQ's up, there's no doubt about that. And so is Palantir, and so is my account. But, you got to watch out for this back and forth movement. I am debating just taking this PLTR out right now, but I do want to give it a little bit of room to run. So that's the question mark there for me. ALF is still in play as far as I'm concerned. We'll wait to see. There's that 25.15. Now we're coming back to the downside. I mean, I'm out of the money 10 cents. I only called the $2 move all the way to the downside there, but should have shorted it if I really did believe in it. So unfortunately, that was that. I should have hit it right there at 38, but we were just looking at other things. But here comes ALF. We tried to get more short, but we were waiting at 50, so we didn't. If it does come back up there, our ALF is waiting at that level to get more short. But hey, it's going to break through 12 hopefully, and then we can see how far it goes down from there. But look at the NASDAQ coming off a bit. We're going to dump this Palantir, guys, if we break back through 26. Just capture the 25 cents, the 27 cents, and then we'll get out of it if it breaks. Actually, let's give it this 95. We break 95 on Palantir, we'll get out. Let's see if the NASDAQ can't keep making new highs.
Yeah, for now it was a great out in NIO, but it's about to test that high again. That ENTX, guys, it did roll over. You can see it down in VWAP here. It's consolidating below this little, the previous halt level. So you're seeing the 750 run into play. As long as it holds this range, the volume is actually really, really high on this. It's like 80 million here, 80 million volume plus. You do have a look where you can take out this like 765, I guess, is a bit of an out, and then see if it can't go from this particular price down to that 650. That's a long ways of saying, yeah, it still has a chance to break out from here. I would have liked that it halted again, but there is a bit of a setup. If it can pop just enough to give like a 740 area, off of this like 765, maybe you go to 775, you want to risk 35 or 40 cents. Your cover is all the way down to 650. So some out in front of 7 and the rest out in front of 650 is not a bad little risk reward in my frame of imagination, but it has looked weak since that big flush off the top. I didn't have a setup for that. Otherwise, obviously, I would have shorted it. But as I say, you have to have an entry plan. If you don't have an entry plan, you can't be mad about missing on a move. If you did have an entry plan and you missed it, then you should be mad about missing out on a move. So I don't care that I missed this. Now we're playing off this consolidation short on ENTX. Thanks, Brendo, for that one. Watch out for halts. Look out for volume spikes. Just because it wasn't there off the open doesn't mean it's not tradable later on in the session.
I mean, there goes Alf, guys. I mean, there it is, 1180. I mean, 1183, 1181. I'm bidding 1181 right now. So we're just chilling. I mean, whether or not this goes back up or down, whatever, we're pretty light on all of our positions. So we're just going to, hey, Ms. V, how's it going? We're just going to sit here, relax, have some of our fruit salad and watch some of these trades go by, man. Palantir still 35 cents in the money and going higher and higher and higher. I mean, I don't need to sit here and talk about positions I'm not in. So let's just sit here and look at trades that I am in and then analyze them for you guys. If there's anything pops off, we'll be here too. Clover's the one that we are worried about though, guys. So maybe we need to look at that one. Clover right now coming back to the downside. We've already taken out 2/3 for barely anything. So right now we got to reload this Clover. So let's stop this casual talk and then get back in here as we see some business that needs to be conducted now. What about Clover into this area? So here we go. Something's ripping for me right now, by the way. I don't know what it is. My neck just went upside. Palantir there. Oh, Ford, I guess, a little bit on a reload. Yeah, there it is. Back up to 27. Hello. So that's why we just made, that's it, man. Sometimes when you stand around and you enjoy some fruit salad, the money just flies in. So that's how you know you're doing pretty good. But let's get some out at 27 there and reload that Clover, guys. Thanks for watching the show again. We're having a lot of fun.
It's always a lot of fun in the market because why? The market's always moving. Brennan mentioned this one off the bat. I don't know if I didn't check to see if he had a trade in that JZXN, but where's my 15? This one, I almost said it's defecating all over itself this morning. It did make a bit of a clean bounce. This is a 15-minute chart bouncing off of yesterday's lows. If this one gets anywhere close to this 850 zone, I think it's going to be worth a little bit of a re-entry point there. NIO just made a little bit of a bounce, and I just minimized one of my charts. We'll have to try to get it back up to you guys. And NIO made a bit of a bounce here. I have to get my chart back up because it froze on me there, Sean.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I mean, this is all the charts you guys need. Look at Torch, guys. Bang. Look at this long. Bang. Nice little trade there. And again, all off the sticky note, guys. All off. Look at this. Alf, no reason to go long, only short. Okay, that's $3. Torch, buy it at near 5. We see where that is right now. Clover, Wish, everything's on here. Ford, we talked about Ford, 1520. And then we reloaded the crap out of that stock. And now you're at 1527. Bang, 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 bang. To the upside. Everything making money today for us. The only problem is Alf, and again, I can call him as V over here, but it doesn't matter. When we kicked our feet up, our bid is 1181. It went to 1183. Okay, so again, if we weren't enjoying the fruit salad, we could have made some money on that one. This is not a heavy position, guys, and I didn't need to tell you that because there's no way I'm doing a max trade or anything like that when this move has already happened. I called this short. I don't have it until the very bottom, so that's not good. But right now, Alf to the downside. It's the only short that I have. AMC is trying to go, man. It does bounce off that 58. We're going to wait to see if it retests the highs. That's AMC. Go AMC. This is another reason why my net is starting to move upside because AMC comes alive from the dead again there, Brendan.
Recent highs here for, AMC having quite the day. So is this one. Roku again today, guys. 1, 2, 3 in a row here for Roku. Back to 420, Rob. For Roku, almost 3.8% on the day.
Of course it is. It's always 420, man. But this time it's not 420 in NIO. It's going to break up again. This is the chart that froze. But anyways, it didn't really matter too much. NIO does break that 45.50. There was a good little dip by. There was the breakup before that won, and then the dip absolutely lost. This dip shouldn't have been off of VWAP. This dip should have been down here. And that's one of those things. It'll happen to you, get a little bit excited. But go right back to your roots and then just take that trade when it makes that high or low. There is a break, which we'll scalp for 10 cents. I always want to scalp some out. Now you're looking back towards like a 45.25. If that can hold, maybe you take a bit of a dip buy in there. It's the story here in NIO, which you talk about this 44 area that it pulled back into yesterday. You still have some room to that recent high up at 48 and then even 50. So maybe this is a multi-day type of event for NIO. We're just catching this bounce on the first day, potentially in NEO. I still sit in that ENTX, which looks like it might break to the upside here. It didn't have that set up off of the halts, so I didn't get it in that way. We got in off the consolidation. It's now testing up to that 770 area. Oh, I guess that was a good level. It's trying to break off right here. one sign that you might have a good level. If other people start jumping into a short where your stop is, then you might have some good placement. But either way, I'll be sitting in this range. Only take it out unless it's in front of this low at 7, and then again in front of that 650 low. So I know where my targets are. I know where my stop is going to be. Not a heck of a lot to do there, except make sure that they execute.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
All right, here we go, guys. Clover right there. We reloaded on that one. We took it exactly where we thought we were on it. Down there at 68. It's now up to 79. So, I mean, just explode this every day here on the show. Let's just keep on going long with Clover. Now it goes back to the upside here. 80, 85. We'll take it if we can get it, guys. Back upside with Clover. So, good trade there. I still think we can watch VWAP. So, maybe we get some out. If it does pop back up to 85 there, we will take some of that out. AMC just bouncing and not doing too much. Ford still that 5 cents in the money. We took some out at 27, still waiting for 30 on that. Torch is just torching right now to the upside. Let's wait to see if we can hit 550 on that. I don't have any offers out, so we'll see where that can go. ALF, we still have that. I have some low bids on Wish. I better cancel here as I just noticed that. So there we go. We'll cancel some of those on Wish. And other than that, man, all is good. The only problem today with all being good is that we did miss this reload down here on AMD. We should have been long down here into this trouble. We talked about it, and again, we have a rewind thing, but we did talk about this stock, AMD. We did talk about that before the market even opened down here at 83 and change. And so that was a great little dip buy right off the open. We had Microsoft, which turned out to be 75 cents in the money, and then we took it. But right now, AMD looking at new highs, man. This is also a big holding in my portfolio, AMD and NVIDIA. I don't own Micron or Taiwan Semi or anything. I just own the big guys there. So watch out here with AMD still making new highs. And then AMC, we're going to go to Brendan in a second. AMC trying to break through 60 again. We'll see if that can happen. We're long 59.27. So we may go 8 for 8 here today if AMC can go and if ALF can somehow make a move back to the downside. I see Brendan at the big screen with a name that I don't even know what it is. Let's go, Brendo.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. I mentioned before we got to the open this morning that was kind of quiet this morning in small cap world. There was a couple, but nothing terribly exciting. This one popped up late in the morning. ENTX got all the way up to 850. If you go out to a daily chart, this level over here on the daily chart is 7, right on the nose, that kind of pivot on the daily chart. So I was looking at that just before we got to the open, tried it a couple times. The long ends up being a great trade to the upside, more than $1 all the way up to 850. As I said, I'm back in this again. I'll give it back to that area now on the short side. So I'm going to work into something if we get back up there, but it looks like it's breaking down as we speak. But yeah, tons of volume so far in ENTX. The other one I was looking at, if I can switch, there we go. JZXN, yeah, a bit of a sleeper. I was going to add on any kind of move into 9 at the open. That obviously never happened. Volume already dying off on that one as well, guys. So it was pretty quiet overall for small caps today. Back over to you.
And there it is, guys. We just took a Clover out there. So there it is, guys, like bid 67, 69, get out right there, 83. So there's another win for us on CLOV. So that stock rocking and rolling for us. Let's see how high we can go. If we can retest the highs again, then we're really laughing on Clover. So let's wait to see where we go there. ALF turning around on us. Can't believe we missed that position by 2 cents. So we're going to average into the short on Alfie, guys.
Yeah, Brennan just mentioned ENTX. We talked about that little rollover. The first out, of course, in front of 7 even when I shorted 738. So you'll take that like 25 cent area, and then you're looking for about like 60 or 70, maybe a couple of legs out down here for flushes into 650. Adjust your stop. I mean, for the size, I'm not moving the actual stop order itself. NIO does make that next move to the upside there. Hey, thank you guys for the super chats. Appreciate it so much. Look, we're here to give you guys what we're seeing through our lens in the markets, and then hopefully we can all learn together. NIO just got to that 3/4 mark, 45.75. We're able to get some out there. We talked about those 50s and quarters. If I take a 50 break, I'm always going to have profit out on the scalp trade. Always going to be like about 10 cents on this kind of a price stock. And then we look at those quarters and those 50s. If it gets to 46 even, I'll likely rinse and repeat. There hasn't been a dip buy at all. And I saw, and this is a good one, Michael Burry probably isn't liking the Tesla shorts in here, but the guy, I'm sure he's doing okay. Whatever. He's obviously had some success in his life. You don't know who I'm talking about. The Big Short is a fantastic movie, but Michael Burry is short on Tesla. Everyone knows that. I don't have any obvious levels to the upside here. This is one of the reasons I like that 635, right? Like there was that 650, which is psychological. And then you guys know it's going to be like 666. And I'm not just throwing that out there because it's a sign of the beast, but there has been some consolidation. Look right here. Like look at this flush back in May, right off 666, and there was some support in and around that level before. It just it is what it is. That's a number that this tends to turn around off of. So if it gets to that particular price, maybe that's where you want to take some more profit. This will be like, that and Alpha the biggest pie in my face because the 930 rollover setup was perfect on Alpha and the break on Tesla was probably better at 635. I'm sitting here missing my trigger in Tesla like an absolute chump. Brendan said it was slow in small cap space. That is the reason why I was in this penny stock. Usually I would have ignored it. If there was something better that was in the $5 to $10 range, I might have been into this one in the pre-market. Like VTVT was pretty good yesterday. But instead, it was ACST. We talked about the setup for this. I mean, it's now slightly, actually broke 60 even, so it's going all the way down to yesterday's close price of 54 cents. The failure was at 75. For those of you that are tuning in just now, you look at the daily chart here and just make sure that it's not a technically super strong stock. Once you note that it's not, you have this spike, you got up, and then held 75 cents. That was the previous resistance level, the best one that you can find. It spikes into that same price, which coincidentally, from this 50 bounce to 50 period, is a 50% move to the upside. Put those two things together, and then a third that it fails at that price already in the pre-market. When retail comes in, they dump it off 75, and then I'm shorting every single pop into that price range. That is the trade. I've put it on like a million times, and I'll put it on every single time I see it. The only way that you don't make a trade like that is maybe there's too low of a float, maybe there's too high of a short interest, or the news is just so spectacular on the company that you don't want to short it in general. Otherwise, trade the setup as long as it's there. A-plus setups have to be traded 100% of the time as long as conditions are met.
Yep, and yep, and more yeps right now as we continue to go to the high side again on Ford, man. Just like, this has just been such a fantastic day for us, and I hope it's been a fantastic day for you as well here on the show, and thank you for all the love. Thank you for everybody adding me even on LinkedIn. Ioannis, I don't know if you're watching, but you just added me, and you said you're watching live from NYC, so New York City in the building as well. Shout out to Stockfather, chilling out today over there as well. Okay, Ford is in the money. Clover now. I mean, let's go, guys. Like, this is why we reloaded, because I mean, there it is, man. It goes right back into our spot again. Like Neil talked about scalping. What about this? Like, this is why I consider myself disciplined, scalper, everything, entertainer apparently. Like if we go long here at 1363 and then we get out there again and it comes back in again and we didn't notice it the first time, we're gonna notice it the second time. So there it is, in there, out there for 20 pennies, and then now we'll wait to see how high we can go to the upside on that one. So we do like that play. And then look at this trade. I mean, this is finally, we're gonna go yes. Now this is really raining down the cash now, man. Palantir is really starting to fatten up the pockets, hopefully of you guys as well, as we've been an investor in this name for a hell of a long time. So here it goes, nothing but love to the upside for you, Palantir, as this stock just rocks all the time. I love this stock if you haven't figured that out yet. And also, what up to all you guys trading Cardano with me as well, man. We slapped that buy yesterday live on the show at $1.04, and today it's $1.28. Congratulations. There's people around here that bought that as well, so congratulations. And again, thank you for all the love back on Twitter for that call as well. But you have to hit that trade, guys. I mean, I'm just giving you the trades. You guys have to hit them. What's up? Hi from South Africa. Hi from Toronto. What's up, Giuliano? Or yeah, I guess so. The eternal time travel. When do you get out of Palantir? How about never, guys? How about never? Cowbell that one. Anything else on there? No. So we'll just move on. But GSAT testing too, guys. Neil and Sean, y'all celebrities. You just don't know that yet. Yeah, not me for sure. And Daryl, yes, there it is. Look, when you're getting respect and credit from a guy like Daryl on that one, then hey man, mad respect right back at you, Daryl. Thank you for taking some of those calls, and thank you for making that cash on Cardano with us as well. There we go. What platform you bought Cardano on? I'm not going to give away that because I don't really trust, honestly, how safe some of crypto can be at this point even. Brendo, I believe?
Orphazyme, guys, just popped up here once again. Nice little ramp to the upside. Broke through 7, and a large volume spike went off there for Orphazyme. I'll show you this. If you see over here, there's a number of releases suggesting major shareholder announcement this morning at about 5:43 our time. From what I read, the announcement is basically the Goldman Sachs Group has increased their holding in the company to 5.58%. That's what I see.
I mean, unless the news is that somehow that FDA not approval, of course, has changed. To me, look, we talked about that news today with those short positions and potentially getting more squeezes. That's in play for any heavily shorted name, and or might come into play. I think that probably affects like a Workhorse a heck of a lot more than anything else. But I got to get my locates in here because it just popped up. Now it didn't test 780. Otherwise, I'd actually probably already be short if that turn that you just saw was up here off of that 780 to 8 area. And I'm a little bit surprised that we're not looking at a halt. I mean, it broke that 650. Look, I don't know. This is a 1 minute chart. That looks like 5 minutes. It made a move of over 10%. We didn't get the halt trade. I'm looking for an ORF halt. It looks like it's been a good one for that in the past. But that's the only way I'm going to get it. We have 1 1/4 cents per share short. That's actually crazy. It's interesting. A lot of these names, shorts have been really cheap for day traders, and that's one thing. Maybe it's just a day trade of the world thing. Back over to NEO. It's not at 46. That's why I'm still in it. I did say I would take this all out again. I took this all out when we got the 45 dip in front of 45.50. So the same thing will happen with the 45.50 break. I'll get it all out for the next 50-cent move to the upside on NIO. So that'll be somewhere in that 90 range. It's just not there yet, so no reason to get flat. Yes, I know I've missed Sundial. But you can only trade so many things at once, and I got the short on that. SEAC was the one I liked today. That's been good. I told you I like that penny stock today. I know Sundial is a penny stock, but it's just easier when you have that set up. Limit the number of entries that you will take. Like you can't sit there and like 5 setups of the same type in penny stocks and get them all. Usually you'll have 1 or 2 and then put your risk towards those. It's easier to manage. It just makes a heck of a lot more sense. NIO still moving. A 46 break would be in play, but I kind of think it's going to be a dip buy here, and be patient with a dip buy if it fails at 46 even.
Guys, stay hydrated, man. Shout out to Shakeem. Shout out to all my Hydration Nation members right there, guys. Stay hydrated. That's a big key to success. And have, not hydrated with this stuff. This stuff is for after. We celebrate with the Moe and the Veuve. With, Neil has the Moe over on his desk. But right now, we also are going to celebrate. And again, guys, here we go. Do not long ALF. Do not long ALF. Okay, we just took it out, man. I didn't cancel my bid to show you guys that I'm the real one right here. There's the bid there at 81, man. I had it there forever, so there's the fill. Now we wait for lower. 56 cents on Palantir, man. A dime piece on Ford. 20 cents there, 20 cents here, and 20 cents here. Brendo.
It is 10:30, guys. We're going to see if our graphics are playing nice this time. Ready? Here it comes. In 15 minutes. Wow, it worked. The Hash Corporation coming through in 15 minutes. We're going to talk to the CEO and get an update on the Hash Corporation. Yes, legal in this country. So we'll talk about some retail opportunities from the Hash Corporation coming up here in, as I said, about 15 minutes. In the meantime, let's get a check on how markets over in Europe are faring so far today. What is up, Miss V?
Hey, Brendan. Inflation fears keep European markets negative. Bank of Ireland is down more than 3% as Irish government is going to sell part of its 13.9% shareholding in the lender in the next 6 months. Back to you.
Yeah, got to be in the right names again today, guys. Market's pretty muted once again.
So it did get that move in, or if I said, hey man, if it got up towards that actual high, that 780 to 8 even area, then I would get into the short without that hold trade. It's a different setup when I'm not taking it off the hold. I'm only looking for a specific price. I actually got this question in a DM. Shout out to Sterling Silver there, one of our vol. He said, if you don't have like a target range like that hold entry, how do you get in? I said, look, if I don't have a level, I don't play it. So I waited for ORF to get to that price level. It does make this turn return off of like 99, 799, catch it on the way down. So I did pay down to 788 here. It's now at 766. You look back to some of these clusters, it's somewhere in this 740 to VWAP range, like 710. If it stalls there, that's where I want to get the second leg out. So it's always about that setup every single time. I'll always talk through it before it happens, while it's making that move. It's the only reason I wouldn't have had it when it slowed down at that 760 range or at 730. No, there was nothing to see there. 8 was the level we mentioned on ORF. Looks like it's a good turn for now. It can't be a loser because I've covered some for a win. Not moving my stop. It's still at that high of the day, 8 even.
Okay, good trade there. And just to give you guys an update, with someone asked me when am I going to get out of Palantir, and I said never, but obviously I just did. So 26.25 there on that break to the downside. I play those quarters. The NASDAQ's fading in here. So we did hit that high of 34.35. It does break back down below 25. Normally my stop, I told you where my stop was, 26. So all we did was change it. So if you want to get out now, I got out 9 cents ago, 8 cents. So, again, don't want to interrupt Neil and all that stuff. So we just got out there 26.50, 26.25 there. So that's the out there. Alf, yeah, I mean, where my next bid is at 55. So we went down as low as 55 there, believe it or not. So again, my order's been pending since what time? Let me just double check this. 9:25 and 48 seconds. My bid was sitting here at 11:55, guys. 11:55 was my bid on ALF using the NASDAQ gateway. We just touched 11:55. So there we go, guys. That order was pending. We'll see what happens now to the downside. 11:55 on ALF. We'll wait and get that bid, hopefully ASAP on that one. AMC, Clover, Ford, and Torch, all nicely traded today. Microsoft, I mean, this was one that, again, we saw that it was struggling. Like, it had that big move. We were celebrating. How many times did we come in like, it's not going to work yesterday, but we were long Microsoft here, and then we got out in here, and then it ripped up here. So we tried to hold on for it. We did get that dollar in the money, $1.80, but it comes right back down. And at that point, it was VWAP, so we got out of that when that did break. Not only that, but that was also a key level of 75 again, but we did take it out at 80. Microsoft now coming back into 265. Not a horrible spot to think about reloading on this name right now, but I'm looking to get out of my ALF. 4 more cents, and then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Okay, come on, here we go. Hit me at 55. Oh no, it went to 57 there now. Maybe I may change this, but with this momentum to come down, it just takes one order and we'll get filled. So let's just sit here at 55. Hopefully that doesn't. It just went to 50. Look at all those 56 that just printed there, guys. Did I get out there? No, I did not. That's unbelievable. So if you want to look here, look at all these 56s. Ding, 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 ding. So hopefully next time it prints 1 penny lower, right here at 50. Almost, guys. Trust me. Let's throw to Neil, and then that's the only way I'll get printed, because you know what they say. What is it? A something never.
A wash pot never boils.
Okay.
And you know what?
Oh, it's gonna boil.
I'll say good luck. So thank you for that one, Sean, because ORF just hit me on the bid. So I actually got that fill there, and I saw you, Ryan Seymour. ORF VWAP bounce. Look, I know his VWAP here at 713. I tend to concern myself. That's a double confirmation. I tend to concern myself with this pullback that it had off 750. I gave the reasons why I wasn't trying to play that short, and I was waiting for 8. But this range here, that 7 to 750, it also just happens to be what's also in the middle here, 725. So I looked at that cluster. I said, that's the cluster of concern. It also happens to be in front of VWAP, but it's literally smack dab in the middle of this range that it pulled back originally. I think a lot of times it's not that complicated when people are looking at these stocks. You don't have a lot of time to think when it's moving this fast. These are 1-minute candles here, so sometimes these levels get overly simplistic, and in the heat of the moment, as long as you've planned it out, when it's going to the upside and you know what you're looking for here, you can get in and out of these trades rather quickly. Speaking of getting out, I mean, Neo actually did get to that 46 mark. So apologies for not celebrating this or doing. We'll hit. I don't know. We'll walk on. I don't know if we hit this one yet. We'll walk on that weird stuff. The good. You're on the good when you see that kind of stuff. And that music is kind of trippy, but we don't really have a name for it. I don't know. But Neo does fade off of 46. I said be patient with the dip buy. Sorry, because I guess if you got it off 45.75, you're right back here with a scalp win. I'm now looking back even deeper. That's the one I should have hit, Sean, but it's on the other page, so I missed it.
Yeah, I got it. We also hit this one, the flying chicken. Kaboom. No chickens. Were
You can't
actually
dodge
farmed.
that one.
Yeah, no chickens.
The
farmed.
hot dog one, you can actually like get out of the way of it, but that chicken
That
one,
you
like
can't.
it's
Yeah, that chicken comes flying at you there. Unbelievable about Alfie there, guys, that we missed the Alfie there, that we missed that. So damn it. We've adjusted our order now, and hopefully that can come through for us at some point there. Unbelievable that we missed it by literally 1 penny there. So Alfie there missed it. That's okay. Ford, everything going out there. Palantir, that was a good out again, and I apologize for that, but it just does go back up to 19. So you could have had 18s or 19s there if you were along with me from the beginning of the show here. 25.70. Why did we take that 25.70? Maybe I can show you on here. Go to a 20-minute chart. Whoa, here we go. I'm calling it over, guys. It's right here. So here we go. There's the 25.70 right there. Was the top the last couple days. We talked about that back on the 17th. And then I also showed you that we stopped out last time at 25.95. So that's why you're going to see a lot of outs right there. And then we hold that last 20% for a banger there on the upside for Palantir. So really super happy with that trade. And it just, again, it talks about, this is kind of about doing research, right? Like if you like stock, and this is why I've only traded 8 names and we're going to go 8 for 8 on them. But this is why if you look at stock that you're comfortable with, you get to know the levels and you get to know sort of the movements on it. That's why we're going to go ALF. Good, perfect on ALF. Not perfect. I mean, we should have had a higher short there, but that's fine. Good trade on ALF there. AMC, we've had the winner. We just didn't take it. So now we're just being greedy a little bit. Clover, you know that one. We wait in the weeds and pick that one up. That's been a good trade for us on Clover once, twice, 3 times. And now we're holding off for the big winner. Ford, I don't need to say anything else about that. That's a bullseye. I like hitting these graphics, guys. And then Microsoft, we've already talked about that. We just did our Palantir talk there. Wish has been good for us, man. Buys, and outs. So no sells lower than these buys. So that's a good one. And then Torch right now, it's coming. We're back to flat on it. We already did take our 20 cents, but should have got out of all of that. So as I just ran through, that's my day. Those are my trades. So needless to say, pretty happy guy.
I actually forgot about. I didn't forget about this one. I haven't mentioned the ENTX. Now, obviously, ORF. That happened really quickly when we got that high, but the rollover trade on ENTX, I guess the second rollover because that's the better one, I got the scalp trade out in front of 7. I've been sitting here while it continues to hold this range. Now it's going to retest. I will not be averaging into this one. If you're going to hold a higher low like this on this consolidation, on a pullback, there's no way I'm averaging into this off 766. I think it's in play for another pop to the upside and maybe playing off of an 850 or a halt style trade. But otherwise, look, this has to go and break this 7 even area definitively and get me out. No reason to average into this one. If anything, I mean, I wouldn't excuse anybody that wanted to take a breakout long here, only to say that I've seen this set up before. If it flushed that hard at 850, it could do that again. So I want to get out of that profit. If you took the long, get out of it fast. I'll be looking for short at 850 if it goes again. Sector watch time, because it's already 10:40. Brendan is at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, quick check on the overall market. We'll see what is leading the way so far. We're basically flat, still in positive territory, but 0.09%. Thanks to energy stocks here, front and center, leading the way. The entire group, once again, back in positive territory. Oil having a nice day again as well. Some of these industrial stocks popping out just recently, PH, URI, ETN, leading the way as far as gainers are concerned. There are a few in the transportation group that are to the downside, specifically some of the airlines. LUV, we mentioned the CEO swap there. AAL to the upside. UPS as well, back in negative territory after a decent day yesterday. Let's talk about the consumer discretionary group here. You can see Under Armour standing out 2.6, 3.3, depending on which shares you're trading. PVH 3.3 to the upside, so some of the apparel makers doing well. Retailers also positive. Look at Tesla, 4.6% for Tesla today. Yeah, there's Ford right below it, 2.2%. GM here as well, having a nice day. In the tech group, Western Digital, 2.5%, but it's all about the semiconductors once again today. Micron actually leading the way, ENPH, AMAT, to name a few here, all up more than 1%, pushing towards even 2%. Want to mention real quick, healthcare stocks and utility stocks limiting the overall move for the market. So as I said, kind of flat, 0.08%, guys. Back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Wickens. And we do have a big guest coming up. This should be an exciting one. I want to hear all about this as I hit number 3. And I don't know if that worked, guys. I'll hit it again. Let's see. There it is, yes. CEO of the Hash Corporation coming up very, very soon, guys. We're really excited. We're going to find out what they're all about. If you have one guess, you're probably right. So we're going to wait to see what that's coming up in minutes with Brendan. So if you want to know more about that, how to invest, stock symbol, things like that, that's coming up for you live in just a couple minutes. There's Valeria doing the backwalk there, moonwalk there. So I hope that means 1,500 likes. We should be at 2,000. 1,500 is not enough, guys. You guys know that. Okay, Alfred here coming to the downside. Thank you again for watching it. We're actually having our best month view-wise, guys. So thank you so much for that as we reach 220,000 subscribers now and almost 100,000 views yesterday or the day before that. So thank you so much for all of that, guys. Here comes Alphi right back down. And just to let you guys know, I know there's a lot of people talking on the chat about people running my stops, and are we that big that people are, trading ahead of where my stop is? I don't know. But guess what? My stop right now, 1160. So I changed it. We went from 55 because we stopped at 55 and I never got filled. So now we're going to wait at 60 to see if I get it filled at 1160. Now that I said that, I may bump it to 62. Wink, wink again, so that we don't get front run, but I don't think that happened. That was just funny that I saw that. And other than that, man, everything's cruising for a bruising right now. Ford, Torch, everything going. So we're getting very, very light as we get ready to end the show. But what a successful one this has been. It's not often you're going to go 8 for 8, but we are proud of that today. And again, it's just AMC pending as we have a small trade. Should have took that out when it was up to 61, guys.
This is a new name here, and I'm going to bring it up because I know some people are watching this. Tiger, another fintech name. I don't see the news on it, so I can't comment on that directly. It's up 9%, but I'm just from a pure setup, it is barcoding right off the high, like giving you that. I mean, it's been putting in higher lows all morning long. It's barcoding right off the high. It's actually a pretty decent looking chart on the daily. I guess the concern that you'd have is any pullback that gets back through this like 25 area does likely get into a cluster, and you get some weakness if it gets back down below that 26, 25. Likely why you're getting this move, but I mean, look at the room if this takes out this 2650. Yeah, so Tiger sets up pretty nicely for a break. I just want to make sure I'm not trading in the blind on that one, guys. So that's a good look. Thank you guys, of course, not only for getting us close to that 2,000 mark. I know we're going to get there on the likes, and of course, as John mentioned, all the good looks, but it's about catching these symbols. Like, I want to add things to my list that I can put down on the iPad so we can come back at 3:15 at the close and have new names to trade, because we want to trade what moves. If you're not trading what's moving, then you're missing out. Tesla's moving and I missed out. It didn't get to 666. It went to 656, so it wasn't necessarily right about where the reversal would be, but this is a $3 pullback. Tesla's been hella strong, as Brendan mentioned, but we're still hanging out right on that high of the day on the NASDAQ. If this turns around, you might get that actual dip back into Tesla. That 640 level could come into play. VWAP could come into play as well. That ENTX, like I said, it's not doing much of anything. If it does not now break through 7 even, this could be a sleeper all throughout lunchtime, and no averaging into this one. It makes no sense whatsoever. ACST, that penny stock just to come back. I do still have a little bit of this one left. It's literally 10% of the position. I got some out at 57, took some out more at 58.5. I'm not, like, if it comes back up to VWAP, I'd probably look at a reload, because that's off of this, I guess, opening range flush price and previous pre-market low at 66. But that's the only reason to get back in. It comes back into 64, 65, and always have an out. I've made a move like this in Sundial where I had the stock at like 90, 95. It went all the way down to like 80 or so. And then I shorted it too early all the way into $1 and gave it all back. Do not do that ever with a penny stock. I would not. If you get back into this, make sure you have an out. Mine would be at that 66, 67 area. Brendan?
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, never a dull moment in the cannabis sector in this country. There is another segment in the cannabis sector that we're going to talk about today with the Hash Corporation, and Chris Savoy is CEO of the Hash Corporation and joins us on the show. Good to see you once again, Chris. We're going to talk about hash and hashish and the Hash Corporation first. Give us an introduction and how we got started here. Where'd the idea come from?
Sure. So first off, good morning, Brennan, and thanks for having me this morning. So the Hash Corporation is a very focused cannabis company. The management team of it has a background working in the medical space and cannabis branding and product development prior to legalization. As we've seen kind of legalization on the horizon, we all kind of took a step back from what we were doing at that time. And really watched and seen what some of the big guys were doing some of the mistakes that they were making, and we look for opportunities to enter a niche part of the market, and to be a little frugal with our spending, and kind of come in and be the responsible players that actually understand the space and the consumer and the products. Fast forward a bit, and here we are.
Yeah, let's dig into some of those products that you mentioned. For those unaware, why don't we, really kind of describe what it is we're talking about here? And you have a great kind of imagery that you like to use when you're describing this that is a very good way of understanding exactly what it is we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, hash is probably the oldest and most traditional form of cannabis after like the plant or flower itself. It's believed to have been in use in Asia for 6,000 years or more. So, I mean, what we're talking about is definitely not a new product to the market here or abroad. It's an all-natural cannabis extract, so meaning it's made without the use of any solvents or added ingredients. It's just quite simply cannabis. So if you take a cannabis bud and you look at it, it's covered in all of these glistening trichomes. Some people might refer to them as crystals or kind of other things. So what's in these trichomes, though, is that's where all the cannabis goodness is stored. So that's where you're going to find the THC and the terpenes and all the stuff that you really want to consume. So if you think about the cannabis flower like an apple tree now, we take that apple tree and we shake it so that all of the apples fall off. We collect those apples and we press it into a brick of hash. Hash ends up, in my opinion, being like a much more efficient smoke because, I mean, at the end of the day, like when I'm eating a fruit, I'm eating the fruit, not the whole tree. So, I mean, with that said, like in 2019, I was fortunate enough to travel to the Rif Mountains in Morocco and study the culture and methods of hash making in what's believed to be the largest producer in the world. It was an incredible experience to be there. But the really funny thing is that I'm surrounded by all of these cannabis fields, but nobody had or consumed cannabis. It was exclusively for hash production. The cannabis to them was just an input. There was no use for it by itself.
Lots of history behind the product, obviously. Let's talk about the overall market share here in the marketplace, because no one can deny the cannabis industry as a whole has had its struggles. What sets this apart in your mind? What's going to make this product different and maybe a little more appealing to the market?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few hash products that have reached the Canadian regulated market now over the past year. Most of them have been made by the big guys that are out there kind of making all of the full gamut of products, everything from flower to edibles to vape pens, kind of the jack of all trades, if you will. So, I mean, what makes Hashco and our upcoming products a bit different is that we're uniquely focused just on the production of traditional hash and developing other hash-based products. We aren't out here trying to do everything or make the next great breakthrough in cannabis technology. I mean, we know exactly what hash consumers want. They've been consuming it in the medical and legacy market for years, and we're just trying to deliver it to them within the regulated framework. The nostalgic hash products that people remember from the 90s, 80s, 70s, etc. Just aren't available on the regulated shelves, and we're aiming to change that with our products.
Let's talk.
We want the consumer to have that authentic experience, but the confidence that it's clean and regulated.
Yeah, let's talk about the retail aspect of this, because we're getting to a point. We're sitting here in Toronto, and Chris, you're well aware. It's getting to a point where there's a cannabis store almost on every block, if not multiple stores on every block. In your mind, what's going to be the difference maker here when it comes to the hash products, kind of standing out in these stores?
So I mean, that's going to come down to marketing and consumer awareness. I also like to believe that by putting out a high quality product that people enjoy and want to consume and is what they're looking for, it's going to drive them to come back and seek out that product. Right now we're seeing kind of a huge uptake on those hash products because it feels like the consumer is really trying to find what they want and what they're accustomed to. It's the repurchases that are what's going to make the difference, right? And and getting them to come back for your product time and time again.
And let's talk about those products. What is the current offerings from the Hash Corporation? Give everyone an overview of what they can expect.
Yeah, so I mean, currently right now, we're finalizing our final regulatory stage to get our products, our brand retailed to market. We do have one white label agreement in place. That's a 12-month agreement. So we are working on that, and we're in several various stages of negotiations for others. In addition to that, we are focused on getting our own brand to market in both Canadian and US market. So we are working with some established relationships in California to enter the market there with, I guess, a low CapEx venture of setting up with a co-packer to have our products made to specification and packaged and distributed there. By entering the California market with kind of a dipping our toes in approach like this, we're confident that it's going to give us the opportunity to feel out and prove the market, and hopefully set up a home base in anticipation of interstate cannabis business being a thing down there in the medium term.
I want to talk a little bit about the regulation side of things, both in the U.S. and in Canada. The company is currently partnered with two different license holders, one on the retail side, one on the manufacturing side. Just to clarify for anyone who's wondering, talk about what type of license is required for these products. And then secondly, just to wrap up here, Chris, how does it look on the regulation side in the U.S. at this point when it comes to hash products?
Sure. So, I mean, cannabis legalization in Canada has been great. However, the licensing system and process definitely isn't quick or cheap to get through, as you can see by some of the spending from the earlier first movers in the rec space. As such, we made the decision, as you mentioned, to team up with two existing license holders, both of them in the GTA. So we're set up to work within both of their license processing spaces, actually. This allowed us to get set up and keep our overhead low and drastically reduce our time to reach market. To make and sell hash in Canada, there's two license components that are required. You need one to first produce the products, and then you need a second one to allow the facility to sell that product to retailers or provincial buying boards or kind of whatever the distribution channel is for it. Altogether, this process can take several years to complete. Once you have one license, you need to then complete additional steps to kind of unlock the next one, almost like a video game, it would seem. And it is kind of comical where they anticipate or they expect businesses to just be able to carry for several years in a lot of cases before actually generating any revenue or making sales. So in the U.S., I guess the big struggle down there with regulations is that it's patchwork. So every state has its own set of rules. There's no transactions that can occur from one state to another. So making it where if you want to set up in all of the regulated states, well, you need to have production and distribution licenses within each of those states, kind of making it pretty tough to compete without a huge outlay of costs.
It's an interesting idea and an interesting concept, as we said, one that dates way back to almost the beginning of time. We wish you nothing but success, guys. REZN, if you want to check it out, brand new listing or recent listing, anyways, on the CSE here in Canada. Chris Savoy, CEO of the Hash Corporation. Great to have you today.
Thanks again for having me, Brandon. Have a great day.
You as well. There we go, guys. A look at the Hash Corporation again, REZN on the CSE.
Yeah, recent listing, as you mentioned, they're on the CSE, and a fantastic interview. I saw the channel. It's a lot of fun. Like you go from different modes in the market here, fast movers. You get some new companies in, and I think it's always good to learn, guys. That's what we're all about. I want to quickly. I'll just go back to a couple of things that ENTX. I got out of it. I know Brent, you're one of our viewers here. You were talking about that 750. I was so close to tightening my stop. I didn't do it, but every time it bounced off a 7 even, it would just come right back. Someone would buy it up in that 710. 710, so I covered. Actually accidentally got long and then got flat right away. Could it break this 695 and flush? Sure, but I'd rather get out of this one, which was sitting there doing absolutely nothing, and just take the win. And Orf making another press to the upside. So this is why I have a plan and have a structure. Not shorting this the second time through, although it's interesting that breakout, that secondary break at 8, turned into resistance. So Orf is off to the races. I'm looking for a halt style trade here, but for whatever reason, the stock is not halting on the way up. I thought it should have when it broke 660. It clearly didn't. Now it's looking like Orf might want to make that run. Look, this is going to look ridiculous if you don't zoom in, guys, because it went to like 70 bucks. But now it looks like it's going to make the run to the next level. And when that's going to be right up here at like a 925, 930. So send it out till it gets to that price, Brendan.
All right, a few things on the earnings board to get to today, guys. We are, kind of out of earnings already, but worth noting in the middle there.
Yeah, Carnival, we'll see what they have to say. I mean, we'll see. I mean, a lot of what Carnival's doing right now is going to be pendant on, whether or not they're able to cruise and put some of those cruises back on. They have a whole bunch of different names in Italy and all throughout. So we're going to find out where they can go from that. We did get out of our ALF there as well, 1160. So there's that out. So now we'll wait to see on the downside for ALF. And then Ford still 8 cents in the money. AMC's doing absolutely nothing. And then Torch is getting ready to break, man. We break down through 480 and we're gone on this one. But what a successful day this was today, guys.
Yeah, it's been an absolute fun one here today. You know what's interesting? It's like I do that bio stuff on the side. They actually stunk today, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there. Before we get out of here, do not forget to come right back, and I'll make sure I hit this one, the right one this time. Don't forget to come right back. 3:15, the close, guys. It's going to be a wild one today. It's obviously been pretty crazy. Workhorse on the move, and maybe it has something to do with that squeeze or some of those rules that came through the SEC. Who knows? But it seems like maybe a tiny bit of an effect there. But before we get out of here, we got to go to what national day it is. Ms. V, she's worn the green. She's got us still in the positive territory, by the way. That streak still continues. But what national day is it here today? Looks tasty.
Right, Neil, I'm wearing green for the 3rd day in a row, and 3rd day we're positive. Coincidence? I don't think so, guys. Just keep in mind, my green brings you luck, and I wish it will keep you profitable for the rest of the day. Guys, we need just 200 more likes to reach 2,000 of them. So please make sure, double check you liked this video. And happy National Detroit Style Pizza Day, everyone.
Oh, hell yeah. We're loving Detroit. So, that reminds me. Shout out to the Raptors who wound up getting the 4th overall pick.
Yeah,
so we wound up winning the lottery there. We were supposed to pick 8th, 7th. So we wound up winning that. So congratulations to the Raptors. And congratulations to Le Canadiens as they are now 1 win away from going to the Stanley Cup, where they will have their hands full with the Tampa Bay Lightning, guys.
Lightning are pretty ridiculous. I will prefer the deep dish. I'll go to Chicago deep dish. That is the way to go. But there is nothing wrong with Detroit style pizza. Like it's not the same thing. It's sort of similar, but I just prefer the deep dish. As long as there's no, as long as there's no pineapple on it, then it's legit. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for getting us to the 2,000 likes. Brendan, what are your thoughts on Detroit style pizza?
Sorry, I was just looking at this loop. LOOP day highs there, guys, 17. I'm not sure I've ever had it. I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it's made in like a sheet pan instead of like the traditional round, but still on the deep side. I'm not sure I've ever had it, guys, so I should maybe reserve comment, but I do like Chicago style deep dish as well, Neil.
The deep dish, like so thick that it looks like it's like nonsensical. Like if you ever go to like Uno in Chicago, it's unbelievable. Man, I can't wait till you're able to travel again. That's what it's all about. I mean, you got to get out, get those experiences. We got to get out of this lockdown and get to Chicago for some deep dish pizza. Anyway, shout out to Chi-Town, although I'm a Jays fan. I don't like any of the Chicago teams. Sorry, guys. But the pizza is fantastic. That loop, good look. Brendan never stops working. Loop, volume spike up to 17 bucks. Put it on your watch list. This is one we'll probably be looking at when we come back at 3:15 for the close, but you know what time it is. Gotta go grab some lunch. I wish we had deep dish. For Ms. V in the green, we're up on the day still. For Brendan Wickens, 2 fantastic interviews today. Myself, Neil Robertson, Sean Katina, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, this is Trader TV Live. See you at the close.
Ciao.